Welcome to the Huts Hangout. Grab your blasters and blue milk because we're about to deep dive into the game where Huts rule and three scoundrels drill. On this episode, we have Bones, Womp Rat, myself, and special guest, as you may be able to see, who has not been coming on, was never coming on, ever.
Surprise! It's Shaka, everybody. Who would have known?
It hasn't been ruined at all.
We can talk about it now.
Yes.
Welcome, buddy. What's going on, brother?
Good morning, guys. For anyone that is familiar with me, I will not be as normal, perky, drunken Shaka as usual. I am not a morning person, but I'm here to give you all of my intelligent conversations. So,
yes,
yeah, there's that.
We appreciate you, brother. We really do appreciate your time, no matter what time it is or where you're at in the world. We appreciate you.
Oh, no. Seriously, it's just fun being here. It'll be cool.
I have actually. I've looked forward to this one for a while because I think you have a very similar sense of humor to us, and I think it's I think this is going to be a bit of fun.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
If you don't like Shaka, you guys are an asshole. Like, you got to be a really big asshole not to like Shaka.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, how can you not like me? I'll let you be your emotional punching bag, and people still don't like me. But that's for another time. What's up, my co-host?
Because you're so negative. That's why.
Yeah, but come at me.
Yeah.
I'll let you be mean to me. As long as you say "fuck you, Bones," I'm my guard is down. Just say "fuck you, Bones" and tell me how you feel. You know, it's the ones that take me seriously. Oh, you don't know the counter to fucking, I don't know, Glat yet? You fucking retard! And, like, go at me for doing something wrong.
Wait. So we can use this, and we can say "fuck you, Bones."
Can we talk about Glat counters later though? Because I have to face Glat today. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot planned to be talked about today, and honestly, the right person's come in to talk about a very specific datacron that, like, as a guild we ran into, and it was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, I heard it's pretty crazy.
I think even in 5v5s, next round of 5v5s, I think it's going to be hellish.
Bodhi, never mention that name.
Hang on. Yeah.
Never mention that name, Bodhi.
We need to read that out. So Bodhi has given Bones the answer to the Black counter, and it's Bad Batch, and if that fails, watch a Bit Dynasty video.
Don't ever mention that in here. Or Google it. Just Google it. All right, well, hold on. Before we get into all that, let's do our pleasantries.
Yeah.
Mike, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
Good. I was actually down on the beach today, so
you fucking dick.
2.5 hours down to the beach with my grandnana, and a couple of aunties were down there as well, and yeah.
I said you dick, and you're like, I was with my grandma. I was like, fuck. And now I'm the dick. What's the temperature up there? Is it warm?
30.
Don't say Celsius. The rest of everyone else does Fahrenheit.
Hang on, I'll figure it out. But
there's only one place in the world that does it.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, I don't really get sunburned, but it was 86 Fahrenheit.
Okay. It's 30 degrees Fahrenheit in Florida right now. I'm fucking freezing and I'm shaking while we do this. So
-1. So no, thank you. I don't do that.
That sounds much colder.
Get that cold in Florida. That's crazy,
dude. This is the coldest. I've been here 5 years. This is the coldest it's ever been. And there's a front coming in the next week. My wife claims it's going to be almost close to 0. I've never heard of that around here, and everyone else is saying I'm crazy. But that's coming from my wife. So she's like the weatherman. I don't even care. She comes in and lets me know what the weather's going to be like. But anyway.
So when I woke up this morning getting ready for Tuesday and everything. Woke up at 4, looked at the temperature gauge for outside and went, it's -6. And I just sat there and went, I don't want to go out. And it was like, I've got to go to the shop to get milk and stuff for breakfast for me and everybody else. And it's like, shit, I've got to go out in that. Yep. I don't want to play in that.
A genuine question, because, like, I don't get to negative temperatures normally. If it's negative, like that far negative, does it automatically snow? Like, how does snow happen?
No.
You get no choice. It just fucking snows on you.
So you actually want it. I think it's between like 0 degrees and about 3 or 4 degrees for it to actually snow. When it goes to minus temperatures, you don't get a lot of snow because it ices up, so you get more hail.
Okay, I don't know what caused. Maybe Shock can tell us, but I don't know what causes things just to decide to snow. But no, like it actually snows a rarity even in places that it does snow.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean it's going to snow every day. Just moisture.
Yeah, it's one of those where it may snow, it may not. It could turn into hail just as easy. It could just fall as really cold, bloody rain, and it's like great.
Yes, yeah. Sometimes it'll rain. Sometimes it'll rain and not snow and just freeze. That's more dangerous than snow or anything. Like, yeah, that's fucking scary. Sometimes you won't even see the ice on like your sidewalks. You'll fucking walk out there and just fall right on your ass. So it's not fun.
Yep.
Yes, this is not about SWGOH. This is about the weather for the next 30 minutes. You know we're old. You know we're old as shit. You never talk about the weather until you're old as hell.
The progressive.
It's one of those, though. It's like I sit there and I see, okay, it's cold. Has it rained the night before? Yes. Right, I'm not going out. I'm in a wheelchair. I have limited grip at the best of times. Like, in the height of summer, a slight bank that's got a little bit of, like, that mossy shit on it, I cannot get up it. Even if I tried, even with the front wheel helping me, I am not getting up that bullshit. But
that's not really good then. Like, that's not a you problem. That's like a council problem.
Oh, yeah. But at the same time,
now we're going to talk council politics.
If it rains enough, I get the same problem. Certain banks you just can't get up. Tail out my face. No, tail out my face.
All right, chat's getting bored on weather.
Like,
so let's move on from
when it's this cold, when it is this cold, it's like, I don't want to go out because any bank's an issue.
Stay in, guys. Stay warm.
Stay where you can keep warm.
All right. What's next?
All right. So you guys, 2025, you guys obviously know Bones, Womp Brad, myself, and you probably actually know Shaka better than us because he's a big deal, right?
Honestly, I lurk on near enough all his streams.
You're a big deal, Shock. You're a big deal.
You are.
I had a look before, and I've got 50-odd thousand points. That shows how much I lurk.
Yeah, and like this has nothing against anyone, but like I don't watch anyone but like probably you and Scribe and maybe Urs. You guys are the only ones that I watch. Not for any reason, but it's just like when I see that name, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm actually I want to watch you guys. So yeah.
I actually imagine most of the audience currently probably does not watch me though, because most Americans are hungover and sleeping right now still. So
that is true.
True. They do like to keep up with you drinking, don't we?
They do. Yeah, they're all hungover at the moment. I tagged them on Discord and they're all probably pissed at me right now, but you know.
Fucking
suck it up, Buttercup.
And make sure you did it in all caps as well. I don't know why that bothers a lot of people, but people hate all the caps messages. Okay.
Like, I'm used to getting raided over from Scribe's stream onto yours, and it's like tablet on, put it on the bed, roll over, start watching, and it's just like, Grab the whiskey, start drinking the whiskey. I can't get to sleep yet. Drink a bit more whiskey.
Touch myself.
And now I'm drunk and asleep.
Begin to masturbate for a little bit.
No, I'm not that. I'm not as bad as you. We will
That's my
remember.
process.
We will remember to send your wife the cane to keep you under control.
Do you guys want to hear something else that's way too much information? I've told the story on Scoundrels before.
You're gonna tell us anyway?
I hope my wife's not listening because she can hear me. But I used to watch Arnold streams a lot, and I don't know why. But like, I think Arnold has like a natural aphrodisiac. But more than many times, we've done it to Arnold live streams.
That's not where I thought that story was going.
Now that was back in our younger days, but because I don't really watch his live streams anymore. But like after a while, like in the middle of it, I was like, "Did you notice that we do this during Arnold streams?" And she's like, "Shut up, we're never watching this again." And that's the last time we did it. But I'm gonna start putting them on more often, I think. Cause
There's a lot to unpack there, but I think that I'm not qualified to go into that conversation. So
I think all three of you should try it. Like when your wife's just hanging around, put one on and see what happens.
No thanks.
I'm just saying there might be something to it. I don't know. It could just be me.
I don't think so. I really don't.
It could just be
think
my
it's
wife.
gonna help.
Honestly, because I never get any anymore. It's the married life. So I'm going to start trying that again. Anyways, so
Okay.
let's move on. Okay,
All right,
let's
so
ask the
let's
GP and
yeah.
the how long question.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
usual.
So, Shaka, I did look up your account, but let the audience know when do you start playing, what GP you're at, and what your favorite game mode is.
GP's easy. That's 12-1-ish at the moment. Favorite game mode is GAC. That's relatively easy as well. At least it has been. It's getting a little stale. That's a whole other discussion. But overall, that's my favorite part of the game. When I started is a mixed bag of answers. So I technically started the game like a month after launch, but I only played for like a week maybe, and then quit playing the game. And then came back like a year later. One of my IRL friends was playing the game and was like, "Hey, you should try it. They updated stuff. Da, 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 da. Like they added ships and stuff like that. Not that ships was a big draw, but anyway, I came back like a year later, played pretty religiously for I don't know 5 years maybe. Let's say whenever the GLs came out, whenever Ray and Slacker came out, quit at that point because I hated the game at that point. Plus COVID hit and I had a job change and just didn't have time to continue playing the game. Quit for about 9 months and then came back again and then have been playing since then. So all told, maybe 6 years to 7 years, somewhere in that range, probably.
Why did you quit after a week? Do you remember?
Oh gosh. I was doing the normal modes back then because that's all you could do at that stage of the game. And I didn't have any allies, and I hit a point where I couldn't beat the battle. Like there was just a natural point of progression where if you didn't have an ally to get you through the battle, like I just couldn't win. And it was very obvious that it was like, here, buy this, buy that, buy this, then you can beat this battle. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm not paying money 7 years later to play this game. And so I just was done with it. Plus, that's the first actually, it's the only mobile game I've ever played like on a regular basis at this point. But at the time, it was the only one I had even attempted to play. So I had no patience for it.
It's strange how
it's
it has
a long time ago, right? Like, 9 years ago, thinking, how were we even playing games on our phone?
Actually,
I remember Snake on the Nokia.
Oh, that was so fun. I played that for hours. But it is funny you say that because when I found Galaxy of Heroes, I was looking for a game. I'm not saying long term, but something I could play every day, like during work at like breaks or something. and I downloaded that fucking, was it Commander or something? It was like a Star Wars shipbuilding.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't very good. I couldn't play it for very long, and I kept trying that game, couldn't get, and then finally Galaxy of Heroes popped up. So I've been playing almost since day one. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But yeah, so that actually did scratch the itch.
That's no different than today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have we moved on from that point?
Yeah.
Or
No,
you still learning?
I was about to ask, is there any difference now and then?
no. I
Because
just
you
learned
still
how.
don't know what you're doing.
I just learned how to mod.
There is. His account is bigger.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And also, you're like, I quit twice, and I'm at 12 million. And I'm like, I've never quit. I missed a couple days here and there, but I've never quit. And I'm still only at 11 million. I had my buddy start 2 years ago. Dark Nar started from scratch 2 years ago, and he's at 10 million. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong right now? But anyways, continue on.
Paying and
You
pine
miss
cones.
out the bad badge. That's why.
You have to use real money, not bad. Or, God damn it, I can't talk.
Yeah.
Not pine cones.
By the way, sorry, back it up real quick. What were you playing Snake on?
A Nokia.
Nokia.
What is that?
What the fuck is a Nokia? Nokia. Oh
No.
man.
That's not how you say it.
Sounds like it's an Italian pastry, or not pastry.
No, it's God.
Okay, wait.
Nokia 3310. Just Google it.
I think he's giving you shit because also, what's a sandwich? Womp rat?
It's a barn.
Buddy.
A body?
It's a barn.
Wait,
No,
barn?
it's a barn.
A chip buddy.
Yeah.
It's a barn.
Notice the silence. What the fuck are you talking about?
We're just from now on. We're going to start fights in the chat over what do you call a butty, a sandwich, a barn, whatever the frick you want to call it. Let's just continually call it something else every single time, just to start fights in chats.
Yeah. I'm gonna fight you for sure.
Sandwich is a body?
No, it's a barn. BARN. Barn.
Oh, a barn.
Yeah.
No, a
Barn cake.
What the fuck? What the fuck is a barn? Now you've lost me.
Okay.
We
You
call
never
it
had a
buddy.
barn. Oh god.
It's where you
Yeah.
put cows and horses and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Sheep.
Moo.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yep.
we were talking about
Stop
that
is
before
gonna
you came on, Shock. I was like, what the hell?
Stop is going to get kicked out of two chats. Not only
Yeah.
ours, but also Walt's next one. All right, so Shaka, every time we have a guest on, first time they're on, we do a 3x3. So this is 9 characters or ships. We've also started to include that for whatever reason they've got some sort of meaning to you, whether it be in the game or like their favorite character in the movies or books or whatever. So we got you to do it, and I got your answers a couple of weeks ago, and there are some questions I have. The guys haven't seen them yet.
One of these
But,
things is not like the other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty obvious if you're watching, but for the people who are listening after the fact, so Shaka's 3x3 is Jedi Master Kenobi. Then we've got Kat, General Skywalker, Empress Nest, Darth Bane, the Mandalorian. So that's the Bounty Hunter original one. Starkiller, Malakos, and then I don't even know what gear level that is for third sister for Reva. It's a purple one, so it's like
Okay, I got shit about not watching Shaka streams, but I know why Reva's Gear 6 or whatever that is.
I think it's like Gear 8 maybe, but not even that high.
no, doesn't the 8
Nah, it's
get
not
another
8.
ring?
An 8 has a connector. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like-
Yeah, so it's 7, man.
hang on, it would
Jeez.
show up on Thingo, wouldn't it? On .gg.
It's okay. We get
God
it.
knows.
It's low gear.
It's a low
Now I want to know.
Reaver. It's a low gear Reaver. We'll live with that.
She's not relic. That's all you need to know. Even if she's Gear 12, I'd be like, why?
Like all
It's
the
Gear
others, like
7.
a relic. Yeah, Gear 7. So all the others, like Gear Relic 8, Relic 8, Relic 9, Relic 8, Relic 8, Relic 8, 2 Relic 5s, which, yeah, okay, they're fine at Relic 5. And then you get to Reaver, who should be like 7, 8, or 9, and it's Gear 7.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And Gear 7 with no pieces on it.
Mhm.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's just it got to 7 and was like, fuck it.
All right, we'll start at the top,
Yeah.
and then we'll get to that
Yes. All right. So Jedi Master Kenobi.
Yeah, so for JMK, he's one of my favorite characters in the game. I love the Clone Wars era content. I love the show Clone Wars. So any character from that era immediately is one of my absolute most favorite players or characters in the game. And so, fun fact, I told you guys that I had quit playing when GLs came out because I hated the whole concept of GLs. I mean, it started with Revens. The concept of a team not being able to beat by an entire roster of teams was preposterous to me, and it ruined GAC, and that's why I quit. Initially for that like 9-month period, however long ago that was. But then they started coming out with some counters, like Darth Vader came out with his Merciless Massacre rework. Jedi Knight Luke came out. You started to find ways, this was pre the Great Nerf, unfortunately, but you started to find ways to be able to beat GLs. And I was like, you know what? There's some balance in the game again. There's some balance in GAC. I don't have to have a pot full of money to be able to play the game mode anymore. Let's go ahead and give this another go. So I came back to the game, and sure enough, shortly after I came back, JMK was announced, and I just like fanboyed it up like crazy. I was so excited. Loved everything about him as a character in the Clone Wars. The kit was so on par in terms of like following canon and making sense with who he is as a character at that time frame. So he was my first GL ever in the game, which is probably unusual for a lot of people because he is a fairly expensive GL compared to a lot of the others. But I just held strong to my stance. I hated the concept of GLs in the game. I refused to get them. Even though I came back before he was announced, like there were other probably better GLs at the time. I just refused to get them. Like I probably played for like 6 months without a GL and had no intention and did not farm a GL, nor was I going to until he dropped. So that's the big significance there with him. He's the very first GL that I ever got. So
Dude, I feel the exact same way as you. I was going to quit, and this was way before I even thought about streaming the game. So like I had no real ties or reasons to stay around except the time I put in the game. Because Relics had just come out, I don't know, what do you think, 6 or 8 months before that? So Relics pissed me off, and then GLs pissed me off. I think they started the wrong characters with Galactic Legends. Because at the same kind of time, there was some hate for the sequels. I'm not going to say everyone hates them. I despise them. I just think they started with the wrong characters. Because the next... I didn't farm them just like you said. I didn't quit because Avant talked me down. Because Avant was like, dude, just chill out. It's going to be okay. He does this every 6 months with me. So this isn't the first or last time he'll do that. But I still didn't farm him. I was like, fuck that. I refuse it. I hate the sequels. But then Luke came out. Even though it was sequel Luke, he was probably the best part of the sequels. I love Luke. I was like, okay, I'll do it. I'll fucking pull the trigger on it. So I do feel that pain because I was like, man. But so I want to ask you though, now where you're at, do you like GLs? Do you like the idea of GLs now? After a few years later?
That's a good question. Yes and no. It's the blow has been softened because of Omicrons essentially. So, for instance, like Starkiller can beat Rey, and we'll talk more about that later. Some of my favorite characters and teams in the game are the teams that beat GLs that are not GL teams. Like that's one of the things that drives me nuts about this game is it's supposed to be a game about parity, and there are teams should be able to beat other teams. That's what makes this fun, to theory craft different ideas and ways to be able to beat other things. And when you have a paywall team that simply cannot be beat by anything in the game, that sucks. And no one wants to play your game when it's like that.
I agree.
Luckily, for the most part, I think CG has learned from that. They moved away from those kinds of eras with Revan and with the sequel trilogy GLs, and there are some built-in weaknesses to every GL at this point. So they've improved. They've gotten better. Even with the GLs themselves, certain GLs will counter other GLs better because of their built-in weaknesses. Like for instance, Leia prevents the cooldown manipulation, but she's very exposed when it comes to turn meter. So it's nice that they can't all be beaten.
I think part of that comes down to now there's so much in the game. Whatever kit they bring, there is going to be weird little counters out there. Yeah. And it's like, you look at Bane counters so much, yet he's countered by a Traya. And it's like, how many of us, even before Lightspeed, had Traya Relict? And you're never going to see him on defense, because you put him on defense, you need to put at least another character with him, which shuts down most of his kit. Yep. So it's like, yeah, you're never going to see it on defense. And holy shit, it's like, I can take out Kenobis if I get a bit lucky. I can take out JMLs easily. I can rip apart Rays. I can rip apart bloody Leias or Queen Amidala's. But then it's like, I can't deal with like this shitty team in the corner. And it's like, I think a lot of what all of us have come to love is because of the age of the game. Because there is now so many counters to weird and wonderful shit that it is a game of, okay, well, I'm going to throw this at it. And it's like, in 3v3s, the prime example is Jabba. Really good on defense, congrats. Throw Enoch at gear 10. A gear 10 Enoch will take out a full Relic 9 Jabba in GAC.
Hold on, let me write that down.
What the actual
I have not been able to get that to work.
Yeah, I've heard this. I've yet to ever see it.
Yeah.
So,
we did it earlier. Ours is a Relic, but it is literally just throw it an auto and walk away. you don't touch it, put it on auto and walk away, and eventually things just start going pop, 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 pop. Dead. Right, don't walk away. But in 5v5, it is the most pointless counter in the world.
We'll do it on Mike's account. We'll see what happens. Sure. We'll see. So one more thing I wanted to say, and then we'll move on. But with JMK and some other Galactic Legends pre-Omicron, they stand the test of time because they're not dedicated to one mode or anything. So JMK counters almost everything, and almost always will, unless they have direct callouts to his kit, which I'm seeing more nowadays. But I agree. He's probably one of my all-time favorite GLs and teams in general. But that might be because of your next character, Shaka.
Well, when you had JMK, did you get Cat like straight away?
Yes. So I got Cat. Technically, I got Cat before JMK.
Yeah.
Cat, I think it was like June. I don't remember what year it was, but I think it was like around June that Cat was released. I red crated for Conquest on. That's also back when Conquest was like a cakewalk compared to what it is now. But I had, like, that's the other thing. I had some of the Galactic Republic because, again, I like the Clone Wars era content. So even though I didn't have JMK right away, I was able to still get her and use her pretty quickly. JMK is also the first time I spent any significant amount of money in the game. I didn't wail on him, because God, it was expensive. But I still probably spent like $100 to $200 on him, which was a lot for me at the time. Yeah, I want to say I got him maybe 2 or 3 months after Ahsoka. So somewhere in the late summer, probably late July, August, somewhere there.
Okay. Cool.
And now you've got her R9. How do you feel about her R9? Yeah. That's the important question.
Who? Cat?
Does she make the Kenobi team better at R9? Yeah.
Oh, I mean, no, she doesn't have any difference at R9 versus R8. She was, fun fact, I think she was my first R8 character.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember if there was. I may have taken Adrad or no, not Piet. Well, maybe Piet. I may have taken one of them up to R8 first for the ship. But in terms of my first requirement at R8, Ahsoka was my first one. So the reason for that, Ahsoka is my absolute, especially this version, the cat version, is my absolute favorite version of Ahsoka in all of Star Wars, and also she is my favorite character in all of Star Wars. Just her character arc throughout Star Wars is so well done. It's so nuanced. I just love everything about her, and especially that the 7th season of Clone Wars. Oh my goodness, it's like I have never ever gotten like emotional over animated things ever until I watched that season, and I literally so full disclosure here, guys. Full disclosure, like I watched the episode where she's coming down out of the ships and stuff, and she does the little landing, and then the explosion happens behind her and everything, and like her and Rex are racing down. I literally screamed at the TV and was like teary-eyed. Like and it was not like I couldn't control it. Like it just happened. I was just like, this is amazing. Like just pure like amazing emotion, and like it's the first time anything like that has ever hit me watching an animated show, let alone anything, to be honest with you, probably.
Was it that moment of please don't fucking die right now?
Oh well, no. I knew that she wouldn't die at that point, obviously, but
yeah.
But the other thing too is because Rebels had come out already, right? So we knew that Fulton existed. Yeah, so like I knew she wasn't going to die. It was just, I think it was one. I loved the fact that she was back. That was a big thing. But two, if you guys remember, if anybody's a Clone Wars fan, that show got just canceled. It got hard cut. Like they had already made a bunch of episodes that were in like the post-production stage. They weren't finalized, but they were like created, and they never aired. So like there's like the unaired version of Clone Wars that exists. And just the fact that her story was just robbed from us. And to have that finally come back and be able to complete her story was just it was very cathartic for me, I think.
Yeah, she's also she is the most fleshed out character we've seen in all of Star Wars. Like we've seen her even with Tales of the Jedi, we've seen her as a baby, all the way through like teenage, like preteens, teenage years, adult years. Now, I guess she's in her, at our age now where we're becoming Jedi like she did in the Ahsoka show, and taking Tatooine underneath her. Shaka, is she a Jedi in the Ahsoka show?
No, she's not a Jedi.
Are you team no Jedi in the Ahsoka show?
She's familiar with the Jedi ways. I explained this very thoroughly. I compared it to Catholicism. It's like there you go. Catholic, but not being a practicing Catholic.
That's right. I remember
there you
saying
go.
that.
You've definitely earned that this guy is a cool guest. You have said exactly what Bones didn't want to hear. That she is not a Jedi.
Anyone who's a huge fan of Ahsoka will say she's not a Jedi.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you're telling me that her R9 doesn't insta-kill harder than it did before?
No, unfortunately not. But so I will say there is a slight advantage to the R9, and that is the fact that she shares stats. So even though you don't see a massive actual in-game difference, it does make the team a little bit thicker and better because of the stat sharing. So
surprisingly, I didn't know that. Okay, that's cool.
Surprisingly,
so I'm guessing. For yourself, especially, then you will want the 15% health and protection datacron level 3, just to make Cat that little bit thicker again. And that whole team a nightmare.
Okay, no datacron talk. We haven't even got past the intro yet. Yeah, slow down there, buddy.
Hey, we're allowed. We're allowed.
Okay, Shaka, do you have anything else you want to say about Ahsoka there?
Nope, that's about it.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Gas.
For gas, once again, Clone Wars era content. So it's just something that I love in general. But the main reason that I picked this was because of the event itself specifically. So one, the event was insanely difficult. I hated it. It's probably the second time that I don't want to say wailed, but spent a significant amount of money that I was not comfortable with because I wanted to unlock him so badly and I couldn't without spending some money on relics and things. But the cool thing about this, so at the time I was in my former guild, the New World Empire. Unfortunately, they have dissolved. They don't exist anymore. But we were doing a fun little event where we were all trying to predict what the next event would look like. In this case, being gas. And I actually nailed this prediction verbatim for what it was going to be. And one, made me super happy that I nailed it, obviously. But two, again, showcased that they understood the nuances of the canon and what happened in the show. It showed that they really cared for the material. And two, they gave me a Shock of the Prophet title. Like I got an official title for the remainder of the time that the guild existed. So that was kind of nice too.
That's my favorite part too. That's why I'm always just throwing shit out. Because the more shit I spew, somehow I'll be right about something.
We are not calling you Bones the Prophet, though.
No.
No.
I'll give that title to him.
Is this you confirming that you're actually a CG developer and you're not supposed to?
What's your CG name?
DJ VibeX.
Yeah, what's your CG name?
His DG.
What's my what?
What's your CG name?
Bob Ross.
Hold on. No, it's definitely not CG Bob Ross. That's for sure.
Mariah.
What did you say?
I've got an important question for everybody in chat, though. Have you ever seen Shocker and Meathead at the same time on camera? Just saying. Just saying.
But I have seen Meathead on this channel. So.
Shocker is Meathead.
I think
it could be really that Shocker is really Meathead in disguise.
I think technically we have because he streams. And he streamed at the same time as me, so
yeah.
Now, Bob Ross,
you could be pre-recorded. It could be pre-recorded.
Well,
AI's pretty good these days.
I think Mike is on to who'd you say, Mike? I think we know who he is.
DJ VibeX.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty.
He's okay. He's a exactly. We don't know who the fuck he is, but they keep putting his name on the inspirations. And whenever I get pissed off, I keep going on about how all these new devs are coming in. And so I blame DJ VibeX for all the bugs. I call him DJ VibeX. For all the bugs or anything that fucks up, I blame him. He is a real developer. But I've never heard of him, so he gets the blame.
One of the Hut's officers, we first saw it as CG VibeX, and then it was like went to DJ VibeX, because it sounds like someone like a DJ at a club or something. And then it turned into like a pleasure device for female to use.
When did that happen?
We kind of swayed
when did we go to that far?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
We went
like a sex toy. Yeah. And then we kind of decided not to repeat that one. But
Shaka, have you ever heard of CG Coffee?
Maybe that one sounds semi-familiar, but it might be just because
the Ahsoka kit.
We just found out
CG Coffee. CG Coffee is actually the coffee machine that's been there since the beginning that they plugged in AI to.
And now he runs the laptop.
Yeah. Now it turns around and it goes, I'm going to develop this kit. And that explains all the fucking bugs, because remember, AI code is trash, and you spend more time fucking decoding it and going, fix this problem, than you ever would for writing your own bloody code.
It's a trigger point for WAP, in case you didn't notice.
Well, I think it's more AI than CG developers, it sounds like.
No. AI coding in general is trash. It's utter trash.
All right, we're not a big nerd like you. Settle down, datacron AI guy. You freaking nerd.
All right.
Just kidding.
So basically, you like gas because it's a Galactic Republic, Clone Wars, and you've nailed the event. Any other reasons?
Not particularly. The event was the big thing. I just thought that was a neat little
That's
story,
pretty.
so to speak.
Yeah, that's pretty like epic to.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was pretty satisfying to nail, like, because it's one thing if you nail, like, let's say 75% of the event, that still feels good, but to get literally every single part of the event correct was pretty cool.
So he was the first character that I shit my pants whenever I saw his gameplay. When he knelt down
Oh,
and you
yeah.
couldn't get to him, I was like, "How the fuck are we gonna beat this guy?" And
He
But-
definitely was a revolutionary character at the time, and still, I would still to some degree say he still is. Like, nobody else in the game has
Yeah.
a kit like his, where he's like a boss character. It's kind of cool.
I agree.
Well, I mean,
the-
four
the-
Omicrons, four Zetas is still not like we've got a few like Conquest characters and stuff that got like 3,
Mhm.
but then a GL is the next step, really.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
he's sort of sitting that one above sort of thing. So I
Wow.
think that probably
he was the
Yeah.
last. He was the last one before GLs came in because that was you didn't. It wasn't required that you had a relic, but it was like a soft requirement. Like it was, you pretty much weren't beating it without what was it, a Saj and like one of the Separatist droids and maybe one other. You had to relic.
For me,
to
For
do.
me, it was B1. B1's the one that I had to spend some money on to get the relics,
Yeah.
because I just didn't have
Yeah.
the offense to get through it without him.
So yeah, I
So
would say he's
when the
revolutionary.
event first came out, I was playing on my very original account, and it was one of those events where at the time I was in a very high end guild. We were all going through it. We jumped on a big Discord call for all of us, and every single one of us were like, "What the fuck?" On and on and on because we hated the event that much. It was terrifyingly hard when it first came out. Then the head of our guild found an answer to that bloody first tier. We all changed our modding to it, and it worked. And it was like, and when he then came into game, we got him first up to relics. Like originally, it was like everybody was like, "Relic 3 will do, Relic 3 will do," and then all of a sudden, it was like, "No, you just want shit tons of protection on him. You want him to be that annoying fuck that doesn't sit down. So as high as a relic as you can take him." And like the whole of our guild, it was R8 was the maximum at the time, and every single one of us took him to R8 that day.
I still
And it
see.
was just like, oh,
I still see newer players that are getting to it and pulling their hair out, trying to figure it out. I see that posted all the time in Discords. It's still one of the harder ones.
I was just gonna
were
say,
there.
like, there's a lot of complaints from different players on new character releases and GL events and how it's too easy. And like is an example the Ahsoka event and how easy that is. And like we don't even use our own characters; we just use event characters for as an example. But my defense of that is look back at what this was like and how horrendous this was. And on top of that, this was also when they introduced the whole, oh, it's an unlock at 5 stars, not 7 stars. And here you got to farm all these shards and crap too on top of like this was is as fun as it was to call this event. This was, in my opinion, one of the most toxic eras in this game because of how bad this event was. Like it was horrible for the game. Horrible for the
I
game.
forgot about the 5-star thing. You had to buy it with what, Get 2? Is that what it was at the
Get
time?
to, yeah.
And also Malik as well, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot
And
about that.
the thing that you've also got to remember is this is back before even relics existed.
Yes.
There was no relics the first time he was unlocked. It was hellish.
Well, they were like
You sat
brand
there
new.
and- Yeah.
See, I think they
Yeah, 'cause,
were
like-
out. Yeah.
They were out, yeah, because
No.
I couldn't unlock it without the relic levels.
Uh,
But they were brand new. Like most
Yeah.
people, like the requirements were not relic levels either. The requirements were like gear 12.
And I remember how crazy, like, it was tough to get to relics. It was just one relic was fucking crazy to get to. Now it's like, whatever. But, yeah. All right, let's move on. We're going to be here all night, day, whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it is. All right, so next up, we have Infus Nest.
Yes.
Yeah. She is one of my, on the flip side of the terrible things of SWGOH, she's one of my favorite things in SWGOH. So she's first of all my very first relic character. And I love the fact that she is one of the few characters where speed and offense doesn't matter. For her, it's just about tenacity. Give her as much tenacity as possible, and she does amazing things with that. And I love that CG has moved towards having characters that are more like this, where they have unique ways of modding them, and it balances out their kit. So, like with Afra with potency, for example, I argue to this day still that Sidious with a ton of potency is really good. Those kinds of characters I wish existed more in the game, because it adds a flavor of variety to the game. It means that we're not all farming the same stupid mods over and over and over again. Like, again, diversity within the game I think is a healthy thing, and I love also. I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't love to be able to solo an entire team with one character? Like, that was a ton of fun.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
She might have been one of the first, right? Her and Kylo were one of the first ones that everyone was soloing stuff with. Like
Malik was another big one.
Malik. So was she before or after Malik?
She was before Malik. So Malik is another one that I still to this day have him modded for tenacity, so that he could solo a Galactic Republic team. I've still not changed his mod layout.
Padme. That was always fun, but of course people figure that out and quit putting Padme on defense. But I think she could also Nest could also do Padme. Did you ever try that? I've seen that happen before. People would solo.
She can. It was a little bit tougher because it was all about whether you could ramp enough offense or not. But it was that was a little more tough than what Malik was.
Jay Murph says Ness is your favorite character to lose with. Do you still try it? Are you still using her?
Well, no, not at the level that I'm at now. But no, we have it's unfortunately multiple clips where we went in against Shock T clone troopers, and she should be able to counter that team. And we were doing well, and I was bragging about how good my Nest was and how it was gonna solo this, and I think it happened twice. We took out Shock T. And at that point, like, you're golden. Once Shock T is out, you'll win the battle for the most part, except in these two instances where Arc Trooper came in and just one-shot my Nest.
Really?
Yeah, it ended poorly.
You're not wrong though. I feel like that's a team that you could solo easily. That's strange.
You should be able to. It's a timeout risk. It is a timeout risk. But if your Nest has enough damage, and in this case has enough health to survive a one-shot from Arc Trooper, you should be good.
So this might be a surprise to you guys, but I don't play the game for like gameplay so much or for the knowledge of it. But the hero collecting is what I love the most out of it. Mine's Gear 12, but like she's just a super unique character. I love the solo movie. I want her at Relics, but obviously there's a lot more priorities. But she's one of the ones at the top of my list that I want just to have a shiny portrait around. Someday. Anything else you want to say about her? Shot?
No, that's it. Just pretty straightforward for me.
Next up, Darth Bane.
Yep.
So,
do we need to talk about this one?
Yeah, this one's pretty obvious.
You either live under a rock.
He's probably my favorite character to use in the game at this point. Yeah, his kit's just amazing, and I love everything about this design. I love having a character that's amazing on offense, does not do much of anything on defense. This is the exact opposite of that toxic, unbeatable team that I talked about earlier. That is what CG used to do. If you're gonna have a character that is incredibly OP and unbeatable and just amazing, make it an offensive exclusive character. That way they're fun to use, everyone can enjoy them, and nobody gets frustrated by them. Like, this is it's such a good character. He's so much fun. The only downside is now we need another lifter for C. So, but outside of that, like, I love him. He's such a fun character.
Now, just because it is an interesting point, which way round do you prefer to use his abilities? Do you swipe first or suck first?
That's a good question.
Always suck first before you even swipe. Just start sucking.
So Foresight can throw off what I do if there's because remember, his kit's not technically working correctly. His swipe should dispel the Foresight and then do the damage, and it's not doing that. So because of that, there are times where I will do a basic first, wait until they lose their foresight, and then do the swipe. But generally speaking, I always suck them off first. So that's always my go-to.
Always a
Sucky,
good way to
sucky.
start.
It's always a good way to start. So, do you, like everyone else, just use him on Quad May?
Now, yes. I used to use him against Leia. That was my go-to for him.
So that's the sad thing about him is like Quad May is fucking crazy, and I'm paying for it because I didn't go for her. So my defense is not very good. So my opponent can use Bane somewhere else. So it kind of does suck that you're just stuck using him for her pretty much because she's just so tough to take down. I'm not saying you can't use something else, but it's not as guaranteed as Bane. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I see. I think that's less of an indictment on Bane as it is more of an indictment on the Quad May team. Like they're a little too OP in my opinion.
Dude, crazy. And then most people have him at R9 already, so yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Or maybe like so Gas is another team that can counter her, but it's difficult at high levels. Like maybe throw an Omicron on an older team like that, where, you know, with an Omicron he regens protection every time that he's critically hit or something like that, just to make it a little bit more viable against a Quad May. That probably would not work. FYI, don't follow what I just said, CG. But just something to boost that, or another team even. It doesn't have to be Gas, just so that there's a couple more options against a Quad May team than just Bane. Like
I would be down for a Conquest character that was specifically for a Quad May counter. Like I hate that fucking team, man. I love the lore. Well, she's not Queen Amidala. I wish she was. The decoy is Queen Amidala. But still, I love the lore. I love the characters. But it is such a fucking toxic defensive team. It drives me insane.
That's also a trigger point for Bones, in case you didn't know.
The fucking what they're calling Queen Amidala is the decoy. The chicken. I get that the decoys sometimes run the dress, but go look up Queen Amidala in Google and guess what comes up? Her fucking dress. Her in a dress. So I don't want to hear any other counters. You guys can argue
because it's only because Google's listening to you and they know what you want to see when you Google it. So they just show you what you want.
Every time I fucking Google something SWGOH, there he is, Bit Dynasty, trying to teach me something. I don't want to fucking learn, Bit. I don't want to learn anything. Stay away from me. I just want to click. Okay. So we pretty much do that. So OG Mandalorian.
So I picked this because his finisher move, we'll call it, I don't know, is one of my favorite moves in the game. So we talked a lot, obviously, about like characters and favorite characters in the game or favorite maybe way of modding, things like that. This is just a straight up ability. Like when they first introduced this, so Nihilus existed beforehand and Nihilus had his insta defeat. And while that feels really good, it does not look near as cool as what Mando's insta defeat does. Like, and let's be honest, it was so good in the show too, especially with the Jawa being the first one that gets yeeted. Like, it's just so fun. It's so fun. It's funny. Like, and they nailed the animation of this in the game as well. So, like, it's just one of my absolute favorite abilities to see, not necessarily to use per se, but it's still really, really fun. And any chance I have to use bounty hunters and make this happen, like we did with last night, we were facing a nasty sortie team, and we were able to use it, and every single kill 3 times, take out all 3 of them. It was great. Well, actually, we used it 4 times because somehow sortie returned like Palpatine.
VIP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I really, really love the animation as well. It's like, it is just pure hilarity, especially when it's like, I'm now going to get to use this on a team that I could defeat anyway. And how many times can I kill with Mando?
It's true.
That's all you end up doing.
You purposely try not to kill somebody just so you can go, pew! Like, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a game of, can I delay my kills just enough to get another one? And it is an interesting game.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anybody else in game that you do that with, like where you would just purposely try not to defeat somebody just so you can use the ability.
I would like that skill, defeat 20 enemies with that skill to be on the episode track. I think everybody would go for it.
Yeah.
And not complain.
I think if they did that, even if it was just use it once, we would all absolutely love doing it, because it would be that moment of, right, what team am I going to kill with it?
Yeah.
And
cool.
in my case, it would be that, can I kill that fucking annoying Ben?
Yeah. Next character is Starkiller.
Yeah, so Starkiller, I want to say he's he's not the first Omicrons that I put on. I did some of the older characters first, but he's one of my most favorite teams, is what I'll say. So I do love the Mandalorian Bosk R lead team. That's a really fun team to run. But Starkiller is a little bit above that because of what he's able to beat. Anytime you have like a really nuanced turn order and you show a lot of really nuanced modding in a team, I just love it. This is my favorite part of Star Wars and SWGOH and GAC specifically, when I can take a team like a Starkiller team and really fine tune these mods so that they're really good, and I can just take out any version of Rey in the game. Like I can count on one hand, in fact, it's probably only twice, where we have lost to a Rey team in all of the GAC that I've done since I've had Starkiller. Like, I just love, again, that a non-GL team, we talked about this earlier, can beat GL teams, even if it does cost you some Omicrons, but that you can take a team like this and with really, really good modding and really fine-tuning of your turn order and things like that, can just do ridiculous things against really OP teams. I love it. The anti-meta it's what I live and breathe for in GAC. It's the best part of the game.
The best
and
the best team.
And then
my
he
favorite
pulls
team.
a bloody ship out of the sky.
Yeah, the
I
coolest
mean,
team.
the animation is fun.
Yeah.
It's not one of my favorite things to do. Like we'll talk with Malicos next. He's more fun in my opinion in terms of ability.
Okay.
But as far as a team goes, I love the concept of the team. Again, so Palp is an example. Palpatine, you don't need him to be fast at all. You want him to be thick as so
let him flex, guys. Let him flex. He knows. He knows he doesn't have to.
Again, it's nuanced modding that's just not your traditional speed, more speed type of an approach. And I love that. It's so cool. So cool.
So yeah, before Malicos came out, this was my all-time favorite team. Plus his requirements, it's easy to do. All his requirements are very, very useful in the game. You already have Palpatine ready to go. You know, there's like maybe one character you have to luxury farm for it. But still, such a great team. Are we moving on?
Yeah.
So
I like the Starkiller team too, so
I consider his next one Starkiller 2.0.
It's pretty much what it is, yeah.
Mr. Malicos.
Yeah, so Malicos, similar vein to Starkiller, where you can take a non-GL team. It doesn't require as much of the fine-tuning in terms of the modding. So I don't like the team as much as I do the Starkiller team. That team is more fun for me. But Malicos' throw rocks ability. So, like we talked about the Starkiller alt pulling the ship out of the sky. I don't find that as fun, actually, as I do throwing the rocks. I just love throwing the rocks so much.
Dude, I don't know what determines it, but when sometimes it won't delete people, but when you're like going against Rey and you're just throwing it nonchalantly and like 3 people just disappear, like it bypasses damage immunity and everything. Most satisfying thing in the game for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's I feel bad that the Star Destroyer is not as good, but it's not.
It's like what's it that I was talking about a couple of weeks ago? Which is stronger, a Star Destroyer or rocks? I'm sorry, but rocks wins.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like rock, paper, Star Destroyer. Rock beats Star Destroyer every time. Don't you guys know that?
Who's the paper?
Yeah, who's the paper?
The Star Destroyer. I don't know. Whatever. You know what I mean. Well, no, that was right. Rock, paper. It's too early for my mind to start kicking into gear.
No, what it is, Bones, is it's rock, paper, scissors. Here's a Star Destroyer.
It's the fourth one.
Ray is the paper.
Okay, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. I don't even think any of
Ray
us
loses
make
to both
sense.
of those.
Ray's trash.
Now,
So,
let's get on to the last one. The one we've been waiting for from the very start of this. Because I kind of wanted to laugh at the exact reason. Go on.
All right.
You don't have to explain it, but I've already heard it.
So third sister, and I shouldn't limit this to just third sister. It's just the third sister is the one that's the most obvious at this point because I have a bunch of trolls for a community here. But third sister, aka Reva, aka the Inquisitors as a whole, is like Bob Ross. Like they are just terrible. Terrible. I absolutely hate them. I want nothing to do with them. They can go shove it up their spotted dick hole or whatever you want to call it with it. I don't know. So
damn, especially if it's
Bob Ross is another story, which I think we're going to explain later. But let me give you guys the background on the Inquisitors. So one, I hated the Kenobi show. I absolutely thought it was terrible. I hated the Inquisitors in that. I thought they were terrible. And that in itself would have been enough that I wouldn't want to farm them. But when CG brought these out, they absolutely shoved it down our throat over and over and over and over again. And I hate when what I'm doing and playing in the game is dictated by CG. It's my game, it's my roster. Let me play the game the way I want to play the game. And when you are constantly forcing me to go after this team because you say it's what I need to go after, you better believe I'm not fucking going after it. Like, I'm not going to touch them. I hate them. Like, I despise this team to this day. I will not use them. You can see I don't have Reva. I literally will not use them. Unfortunately, I have every other Inquisitor relic at this point. Many of them are R9 because it's a sub goal and the community is a bunch of trolls. But even then, I won't use them. Like, I save them for offense because I don't want to put them on defense either. I don't want them on my board. I save them for offense, and I will not use them unless my viewership makes me by cashing in a channel point redemption. If they do it, then I have to use them. But otherwise, they sit on the bench. I will not touch them.
I think you and I are more alike than what you think. Unfortunately,
but
whether you like it or not.
My question, because I know that it's the Inquisitors in general you hate, right? Okay, so why have you got an Omicron on Seventh Sister?
Sub goal.
Okay.
So right. That one. So Seventh Sister was the very first sub goal that I'd ever done in SWGOH. So when I started streaming, we talked about, because a lot of people do character sub goals and things like that, and we talked about it. And I don't want to be a SWGOH streamer. Obviously, SWGOH is a lot of what we do, and it's a big part of my game playing experience. But I want to do more than just SWGOH. I want to do a variety of things. And for me, it's not about the game. I stream for the community. I stream for people. I like the interactivity of chat and getting to know people. And so, like, for me, that's more important. And I never wanted to do the sub goals. But when that was our sub goal that we did, sorry, bring this back to what we were talking about. I didn't know how to do it. I was just like, all right, well, fine. We'll do an R9 Seven Sister, whatever, fine. So we get to the end of it when we finally hit it, and they're like, no, you have to put an Omicron and Zetas and stuff on it too. And I was like, what? And apparently that was like the unwritten rule, and I didn't know any better. So at first I like fought hardcore about it. And I was like, I'm not putting this stupid Omicron on there. This is terrible. Why would I put the Omicron on the leadership? It's useless. But I felt bad after a while, and I was like, fine, if this is the unwritten rule, I'll put it. So I eventually added it on because I felt bad. But I've learned, and now I specify. So if we do a sub goal, like for instance, the last one was R9, who was it? Eighth brother and fifth brother, yes. I think, are the other
so you've
two
got
required.
Yeah, you've got Grand Inquisitor 7th, 5th, and 8th at Relic 9.
Grand Inquisitor was the last one. That's right. Yeah, but like I'll specify now whether it includes an Omicron or not. So like Grand Inquisitor, I specify that sub goal does not include the Omicrons. So
hold on, I gotta say this joke before you keep talking. Cue the Darth Vader saying, "Pray I don't alter the deal any further." Whenever they're making you do extra like Omicrons and Zetas when you didn't agree to it.
I should have done that. My impersonations are incredibly good, but I did not think to do that one at the time.
That's why you need me like behind the scenes, man. Say this, say that. Let me know. Let me know. I'll be like your background guy. I'll be your producer.
Yes.
The thing is,
I know you're that much. I wouldn't.
No.
I know your community is a lovely bunch of trolls. But it's that moment of, you know full well, they will see this. They will see your third sister, and it'll be, you know what the next one's going to be? Just for you.
Oh, it's pretty well been established. So currently the sub goal is the R9 Merrick. We did a poll. I thought we would finish it off with third sister, and they decided that they wanted to do Merrick instead first. I think it's because they knew if we did third sister first, I wouldn't have done Merrick, and this just prolongs the misery for me. So
yeah, I think that was the best route to go for, because Reva is the bestest ever, and she can't be killed no matter how many times you stab her in the gut.
It's true. That's funny that the kit is it's canon with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of a troll in itself. You're right, it is kind of funny.
I never thought of that actually.
Because she gets stabbed twice, right? Like she supposedly should have died twice. So yeah, she comes back 3 times. Yep.
Yeah.
The thing that I have to do whenever I see her is I go, I wonder how fast my bounty hunters need to be. Just shoot her in the face and get rid of her.
Hold on. Okay, here's another counter I don't know about. You're taking bounty hunters against Reva?
Yeah, I've never heard of that working. Really?
It's rough. If you can get it to go off, it is just because you've got enough speed on Bosk and Grief. If you get it to work, it is hilarious because you shoot in the face, she's gone, and then you just go, okay, now I can just clean up the rest. And there's no
death mark?
You can. This is where you have to not cleanse yourself. You have to physically not cleanse. It is high risk.
Just fine for most bounty hunters. They don't ever take baths very often. They're very busy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to move on? Because this took an hour to do. So, do you guys want to move on to the next part?
I cannot believe that joke. Let's just.
Yeah.
Well, why was that the outlandish one? I just told you about doing it to Arnold earlier.
Just how quickly you got to that joke. It's too early in the morning for that sort of stuff.
I think I'm spot on, man. That was
all right.
Great.
Okay, so that was Shocker's 3x3. So
that was Shaka's intro, guys. We just introduced Shaka.
Yeah.
That's how long it took.
It's only taken an hour and 10 minutes.
So,
all right. So basically,
are other guests much faster than that?
No,
not really.
I'm just joking. That's how long the intro was.
We do tend to stall, so my apologies.
No,
it's fine.
I mean,
dude, this is International Three Scoundrels. You know how long this shit takes. There's no structure.
There's a story there about stalling. So one of the GAC matches, I literally, Shocker gets on. I'm like, do you reckon I'll have cleaned the house because I've got guests coming over before you start your first battle? So he goes through. Yes, I did clean the house, and I put on the roast dinner for dinner, and went away, and then it just kept going on and on and on and on. I actually finished cleaning the house, cooking like a roast dinner before Shaka got to fleets. I sat and watched him do fleets while eating dinner.
Yeah. I think that was like a 14-hour stream or something like that.
Yeah, 9 hours I think it took for you to do GAC.
I loved it because you can always tell, like, especially like in my streams when you don't know who I am because of what people say. and like Shaka was like, it was the Superman versus what do you want to see next year? Superman versus whatever the other one was, Moana or something. Ice Age 6.
Oh. Adam Sandler.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore.
2.
And
Yeah.
just so you know, I'm bare bones. I don't know if you knew that was me or not. Cause I was talking about Travis Kelce and Happy Gilmore. That's just my YouTube name. But this guy was like, "You haven't gotten to SWGOH yet." I was like, "Yeah, welcome to his streams."
Oh yeah, the new people are like, "You haven't done any SWGOH yet." I'm like, "Yeah, it takes us an hour until we actually get it."
Why are you not talking about SWGOH?
Yeah.
It's like some days when I start my streams at lunchtime for me, I sit there and it's like 10, 15 minutes in, we're into the game, we're into what we're doing, because there's not a lot going on and there's not a lot to chat about. And then there's days where we're 3 hours into the stream and it's shit, I've got like 2 hours to get shit done now. And it's just like, we gotta rush this shit now.
Bones is.
So
is
you just
horrific.
never know.
I don't
You
even
just
try.
never know.
Yeah, I don't even try to. But if you mention something controversial about Star Wars or Marvel, it's over. We're gonna discuss this, and I'm gonna tell you how you're wrong and why this shit fucking sucks balls. I want to hear about the one thing they did good in the movie, which does not make it right. All right, see, I'm already going into it, so
Yeah.
let's not.
All
I don't
right.
even know what
So
we're talking
basically, let's actually get into the prediction side of things. So we're gonna do things slightly different. So we've got the new era that's coming up in sort of like 10, 11 days. And then we're going to go into some predictions for this year. So we'll start off with what we sort of know there's going to be at maximum 6 characters or ships. There might only be 5. They did sort of hint that some eras might only have 5. So basically, we'll go around the room. Shaka can start and sort of name 5 or 6 characters or ships that you think are going to come in this next era, the Bad Batch era.
Okay, before he starts,
All right.
I wanted to say this, Shaka, earlier. You were talking about a SWGOH, and you despise the Inquisitors. I despise Bad Batch, and how you had to gear Relic 9 all of them. So it wasn't a SWGOH, but Mike and Matthias helped me out financially, and I was like, all right, fuck it. You guys pick 4 or 5 characters to make me Relic 9. And so right now, I'm working on Glatt and Balin, and once I finish that, I have to do the original 4 to Relic 9. So I'm taking my despised Bad Batch, like how you feel about Inquisitors, how I feel about Bad Batch, and I'm having to Relic 9 all 4 of them, not the new ones.
Time out. Why are you getting to do Ahsoka first?
You're right. I shouldn't have to, but I said no. I'm not doing that yet. I laid down the rules, unlike you. I made sure they knew. I'm not doing this until I get myself set up nice and pretty for the future. Because this is going to fuck me over for a while. So I'm doing all of them in a row. But yeah,
A long while.
So I was going to tell you that earlier. What's that, Mike?
Insert that I'm never going to financially recover from this meme. Bones even looks like the guy.
I mean, I raised tigers, so... yeah.
Yes.
I'm gayer than a $3 bill. What's the next part? I need to do those redemptions. They're hilarious. That's going to be my next one. Anyway, okay. You said Bad Batch. I wanted to tell you that earlier. That's out of my system. So, your Bad Batch predictions.
So you're saying 5 or 6 characters just from Bad Batch?
Well, from what do you think we're going to get in this next era?
Okay. I was going to say, because we're only theoretically getting 6 at most, because they said that we're getting 5 marquees, and then I would assume a legendary one as well. So I would guess. So obviously, God, if Crosshair is not in this, it's ridiculous. But Crosshair has to be one of them. I'm suspecting he will not be a legendary. I think he'll be a marquee character. I think that we'll see, if not one, multiple versions of the clone assassins. So I think I think this was alluded to in the show, spoiler alert, but they never came out and clarified this and confirmed it and things like that. But I have a suspicion that the clone assassins have like elements of the different parts of the Bad Batch. Like you could see a lot of like similarities between Crosshair and the one clone assassin, for instance. I know they weren't exact replicas of them. They were just supposed to be some anonymous random version of a clone trooper. But I think they were trying to, mimic those specific skill sets. So I wouldn't be shocked to see, a clone assassin that comes out that's like Crosshair's kit, a clone assassin that comes out and is like Echo's kit, things like that. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see maybe like 3 different versions of them. So it's a 3-man team.
Yeah.
The only downside of that is I don't know where else they would work because they're not technically an Imperial trooper. They could be Empire, but they'd be pretty limited in terms of where they could be used at. But I think we'll see at least one of those, if not multiple.
So that's very interesting you said that, because there is an Asajj Ventress, right? And I've never seen it, but isn't she in season 3?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to spoil. Go ahead. Sorry. And then I'll say
Spoiler, bud. Spoiler.
in many ways.
I could see I forget his name right now. The professor, or not the professor.
Hemlock?
Hemlock.
Hemlock,
Thank you. I could see Dr. Hemlock being one of them. Absolutely could see him coming to the game.
Cool.
I could potentially see I'm forgetting her name too. The assistant that's also a clone.
Emery Carr.
Thank you. I could potentially see her. I think she's less likely, but that's something that could happen. I think no matter which of them it is that comes out, I think they're all going to lead towards a mercenary version of. I don't know that she'll be a bounty hunter, but it'll at least be a mercenary version of Asajj Ventress. I think that we'll get in the game. I would like to see her be a bounty hunter tag as well, because I think at that point, theoretically, she is a bounty hunter. We just don't see her in a bounty hunter role. And knowing CG, because they aren't going to want overlap of factions that they don't have to, I could see them saying she's not a bounty hunter because she doesn't actually do any bounty hunting in the show, but she is technically a mercenary for hire. So I think she's going to be the big legendary quote-unquote character.
Yep.
I think we finally found someone who's better at predicting things than Bonestradamus. I love that. I love that idea.
No offense to Shaka, no offense, but it's not a high bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're self-proclaimed Bonestradamus, that's a big deal. That's a big title.
It's like
to live up to.
a tiny crack in the path. You've gone over it. You're good.
No, Mike, I'm like the Grand Canyon.
That's all I heard.
Okay? That crack is the Grand Canyon.
All right.
But anyways, I want to comment on your predictions. I think that's actually the best thing I haven't even thought about. I've never watched it, so I don't know who the fuck's in it. But a dark side, not a non-Bad Batch team coming from the Bad Batch that's all dark side. I have seen Bounty Hunter Asajj. I've seen different versions of Asajj. Making her a legendary with the cool looking getup. I'm all for that. I would rather see that than just another Bad Batch version. Because I know Omega's like a teenager, I guess. But no one likes Omega as it is. So...
People said they could see her being brought to the game. I disagree. Because here's the thing. So remember, CG likes to not release story-driven characters until at least a year after the show has been out. Now, generic characters like the clone assassins, I could also see the I don't know what they would be called. They have like the fancy glowy blue eyes, those clone troopers as well that are working for the Empire. I could see that also being a thing. Like generic characters like that, yes, they can bring those to the game, even though it hasn't been a long enough time frame. But with Omega, especially teenage version, it's very obvious that was left that way so that they could come back down the road and be able to do a revival of the show if they want to. So I don't see them bringing that version of her to the game until she has been fleshed out more as a character. So yeah, I just don't see that happening. With the way that CG works with things and with content that's yet to be fully fleshed out, I don't see that happening.
I'm excited though I wonder if some of the things that we're accustomed to gets thrown out the window with these new cadence that they've come up with, because we don't really know. You know what I mean? We keep saying like, 8 months to a year for content. What if they start? I mean, I don't know. What if they start coinciding things with releases? You know, like with Andor coming out, kind of like what you've been predicting. What if they do coincide with more Andor characters when it comes out and stuff like that?
I don't think it's a CG call on that though.
Yep,
I think that's a Disney call.
It's a Disney call. Yeah, I agree.
But at this point, what the fuck does Disney have? I think this game is making more money than anything Star Wars Disney's putting out, including shows or movies. So why not? They don't real quick. Are you guys noticing more Galaxy of Heroes ads? Because when I watch YouTube videos, I'm seeing a shitload of them, and I've never seen them before. Do you watch YouTube?
No, not really.
That's why you haven't seen them. Most people who make YouTube content don't watch YouTube because we're too busy making it. There's a lot. Every time I watch a content creator, there's been a Galaxy of Heroes ad. Chat, tell these guys I'm right. All right? Tell your sister.
All right.
Bones was right.
All right. Wombat, your turn.
So,
what do you think's coming in this next era?
Mine is a little bit weird here. I think, first of all, we are definitely going to be getting an assassin of some description. Whether that's it'll probably have the Imperial Remnant tag, I don't care. It'll probably have the Imperial tag, I don't care. I honestly think it will be similar to Wampa, where it might be, if he's alone, he gets more stats. Or it could be like how Fennec is, where the less of the team that there actually is, the more of a stat that it gets as a bonus. That way, if they do go down that route, it's really interesting. We get to play about with it. We get to do some stupid shit where it's like you might actually decide a two-man team's the optimum and all sorts of weird shit with it. That would be fun. I actually think there's a risk then of also other things like Emery. I'm hoping they don't just go down here's Emery, here's Sith Imperial Assassin or whatever it is. I'm hoping they do interesting shit with it over everything else. And yeah, that's what I care about, is do they do something interesting with the kit? Oh, it's out. It's out.
Are you drinking eggnog that is past the season? It has expired. Hell no.
Well, just a little dabble. I've never done this. This could be very bad. We'll see.
Yeah, it could get a very bad stream.
No, it's not a stream of drinking, so I appreciate it. I appreciate the effort.
So,
are you putting that in your coffee? Hold on, are you putting that in your coffee right now?
Yeah.
That might be a little good, actually. I don't like eggnog, but it might not be bad. Sorry, Womp. Go ahead.
So that's definitely my first one. Is the assassin is most likely. I'm hoping it either has similar to Fennec, where it's the less people in the team, the better he is, or if it's like Wampa that he has to go solo. Something like that as another. It either has to go solo or limited team. That would be pretty damn cool. Next one is probably, I am really hoping we get Crosshair. But I've got a feeling we won't get him in the 5-character release. That face.
No go on the eggnog, guys. No go.
Bad choice. Bad choice.
But whenever I pour a glass of coffee, it's like, it takes so much effort. It's like, even if it's gross, it's like, fuck, I gotta put this down. It took too much effort.
Well, yeah, so I think potentially the legendary unit is going to be Crosshair because it's something we all want. How can they drive FOMO for something that we don't really want when they could just go, yeah, Crosshair's the legendary unit, all of a sudden, like, I know Mike has said this January is likely to not be as much of a spend. Myself, I don't want to spend as much through January, February. How do you get a content creator to want to spend more? Give us a character we have to spend to get. Congratulations, all of us want Crosshairs. That's where, unfortunately, I think he's going to end up. And that's a very bad thing.
How do they make spenders spend on something you don't want? Make them required. The Inquisitors. No one wanted Inquisitors. Everyone put them off, and we all regret it. I know, but you're probably like, fuck, I wish I could have them right now for a while.
No, I still don't want them.
I didn't want them at all either, but I was like, fuck, man, I can't do Conquest, I can't do this assault battle, I can't do this, and this. I don't hate them as much as you do, but I was like, fuck, Reva's amazing, as far as, how powerful she was. Yeah. So I think this Bad Batch is going to be that. I think this is going to be the new Inquisitors, where it comes down to, you better farm them, or you're gonna regret it. Somehow, some way.
That's why I think Crosshair is either going to be a legendary or something I talked about with a load of people from the guild the other day. We've still got room for loads of shit on row. What if they added a planet that gave us Crosshair?
Then I'm all in for it.
He was that way.
They need to do that. They've gotten away from hero collecting. And the next raid needs to have a fucking character. And everything that's new needs to have some kind of character. I'm sick of this. Okay, here's the new content, but there's no new character tied to it. That's something that's been turning me off. Like, if the new raids had characters, I'd be R9ing everything, and I can't even do that. I would take my characters high up as I can because I want the new character. But like, okay, I'm getting some gear. I'm not going to put everything I can into it. We're still not doing Zepho we're a 500 plus million guild, but we're very casual. We're still trying to do Zepho and Mandalore. But, there's not there's not a fire underneath their ass because really it's just some more chirotech, which does help, right? I'm not saying it doesn't, but there's not something that's so awesome that it's like putting a fire out there in people's asses and trying to do. So, they need to get back to that. Sorry, that's just a rant that I've had for a long time. Continue on.
Yeah. So that's where I think, honestly, if we look at it long term, that's where it's going to end up. And it's like, if they really want to make us spend, either put Crosshair on a new planet or put him as a legendary event. It means all the streamers that are there going, oh, thank fuck, January, February, March. Well, early March, we'll be able to spend a little bit lighter and we don't have to spend as much because it's only Bad Batch. Congratulations. We find out there's a legendary event at the end of it for something like Crosshair or a planet that's going to be added to Rope once they're all there, and you've got to use them to unlock Crosshair. Congrats, we all spend.
Okay.
We all suddenly turn around and go, oh, fuck, we're back to 300 a month.
Okay,
let me ask a real quick question with this. So, if Crosshair is the only Bad Batch character that we get, do you think he'll have a leadership so that we can have 2 3v3 teams?
No. I don't think he will. I think...
He was a bad leader. He led.
I think, if anything, the way to run it is give him call-outs to Omega. And loads of call-outs to Omega. Because remember, right at the start, they escaped together. Mm-hmm. They were the only two. So what you do is you make a load of call-outs to Omega that effectively are a lead. But for those two, which means in a 3-man team, it's all of a sudden, you're not bothered who the third is. Because if they've got loads of interaction between each other, congrats, you smash everything out. So like, it might be that,
you could still throw like Wrecker in the team then, and it would still work.
Yeah. So it's like, you don't care who the third is. You just go, yeah, that'll do.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought. That's totally outside of the box on that one.
That'll do.
And that way...
That'll do.
The other thing that they're doing there is they're helping newer players when there's those silly feats that say, oh, you've got to do it without a lead. Oh, well, there you go. You've got something that's built as a non-lead.
That's cool.
You need to stop talking, or this could happen.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that idea. I think they'd be cool.
The thing is, as streamers, we want cool mechanics. We want stupid little things like that. We don't want these paragraph and paragraphs of kit. Yeah, something like that is going to be paragraph and paragraph of kit. But the difference would be, imagine that suddenly dropping and you're sitting there going, say they give us a new Omega and it's just a call out to either Omega. Well, who do I use? Am I going to use both?
Guess who does this already on every single squad? Every time it's released, Marvel Strike Force. There is 0 leaderships, none at all, and all of the synergy comes from their uniques. Or even their other things. Like, let's say they do something on their A3, all Avengers get this or that. So, it's not unheard of. Hey, fuck you, Mike. Mike, I started a guild that Mike ran for like less than a year. Yeah.
But honestly, that sort of thing I would be more interested in. If that's how that comes to the game, I'll be a lot more interested in that than, oh, here's just this. The other thing that I'm really, really hoping comes to the game, because I've said there's going to be 5. So Hemlock is probably a good guess. Emery is probably a good guess. An assassin of some description would be a good guess. But there's a 3-man team. We've got other Empire that we don't use at the moment. So let them steal other Empire. Who are the other 2? Why don't they bring in something like Batcher? Yeah, it's a shit unit. Bring in Batcher. Don't give him any natural synergy to the Bad Batch.
Who the fuck is Batcher?
Any of them.
Who's Batcher?
You're missing out because you haven't watched it, Bone.
I'm not missing out.
That's the new rule.
You just said he was a shit unit. Why would I care then?
Because a lot of people are going to say, oh, but that's not going to make a fun unit. They could make some fun kit with that. They could really come up with an interesting way, because it wouldn't be really a healer, it wouldn't be an attacker, and it wouldn't be a tank, so it's going to be support. You make it an interesting support that us lot really enjoy, you'll actually get us using the thing, even if it is a shit character. You've got to make the kit interesting, though.
You don't see Batcher being a tank?
Maybe. It could be fun to have him as a tank.
I see him as a tank. It could be an attacker,
yeah.
But I like Sopper's idea in chat that he would be a summon for Omega. I like that better.
Yeah. That could be another one, that the old Omega, which we're guaranteed one of them is going to be old Omega. It might be that her third ability or second ability or whatever goes, here is Batcher as a summoned ally. That would be really stupidly fun.
Is her name going to be Omega in parentheses legal age? Nobody? Nothing? Was that too far? Too far, okay. Just want to make sure. I thought I'd give it a try.
All right, well, round up your prediction.
And probably the last one that I really want to see, that we could see, is some form of new, I wouldn't even say clone or what's it, because we saw a lot of new officers added during that last season. And you had, I can't remember his name now, the officer that was sent to prison that then betrayed and then came back. That's the one. That then faked that he was still an officer. That could be a really interesting one, because you could have him labeled as Imperial, but also labeled for Rebel. And him do different things depending on what side of the board he's on. And that, again, potential interesting mechanics that they could play with. And that's what I'm looking for, is the shit that I want to see is just interesting, weird shit mechanics that are not, here's a ton of text that then does something stupidly basic, but you've had to add half a paragraph just to limit its ability, to here's a stupid amount of text that does an absolutely bomb pot idea that we're sitting there just going, what did that do? Read the. Oh yeah, it did that bit. And it's like you look at Jar Jar's kit; it's actually interesting. You look at basically stupidly interesting, and then you look at, like some of the new kits. Oh, I'm gone.
Your camera.
Oh, hang on.
I
Also,
blame Bones.
there we go. And then some of the newer kits, it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
So I want to remind everyone that every single era leads to something. Not always a legendary. It says an event or a legendary or something. So every era will introduce something. When they say event, I'm guessing raid or, like you said, maybe a rope planet. But it all leads up to something. You could say big. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of why I'm more interested in this way of doing it than any other way that they've attempted. Because
that's why I lean towards Asajj being the legendary, because they can essentially replicate Bones. You're not going to know this, but they can essentially replicate the Asajj versus Bad Batch battle that we saw, or Spar. I guess Spar is probably the better word to use there. As your event.
So, what does she look like? It's not the bounty hunter version? I'll look it up. Wait.
no,
She's got the like shaved side of her head with the long over poofy thing, whatever that haircut's called.
that honestly wouldn't be a bad event. But something else as well is that Bones is covering all of us. I thought my browser got hacked for a second. I was like, who's Googling shit on my browser right now? Right. But it's like I sit there and I just go, what is it going to lead to? We know that this raid's going to come to an end February, March time, because that's when the timeline says. So we're expecting information on the raid. Is this going to lead to the new raid? Because which film is it that's like got an anniversary this year? There's one of them that's got an like 25th anniversary this year, and it's like, okay, if that is leading to that raid,
Revenge of the Sith.
That's the one.
There's two of them.
It's like
Revenge of the Sith is the 20th anniversary, and Force Awakens is the 10th anniversary this year.
And,
talk about that one.
And KOTOR 2. KOTOR 2 is 20th as well. So there's a lot going on.
So it's like they could just use this as like a forerunner to the new raid. I know loads of people are still hoping that they're going to be doing bloody whatever it is with the Soka's raid and Peridia and that lot. But honestly, I just want a cool raid. That's all I care about. Not this RNG bullshit from hell where it's like, congratulations, like you've done a run 100 times before, it's gone perfect, and now this time you cannot get it to fucking work for the life for you. No, stop that bullshit. Give us stuff that's actually fun. I couldn't care less if it was non-RNG dependent. Like, you could do the same run every time, guarantee it every time. And as long as it's fun, who gives a shit? If it was fun, I would do it, not care. Where at the moment, like, yeah, I can hit 8 mil in the raid. I hit 3 and I stop because I don't like it. And then I get a message off one of the officers and they say, oh, can you just run up an extra 2 mil because we need 2 mil to hit the crate? And it's like, yeah, sure. But other than that, it's like, I do 2 teams and I leave it. And that's it. So, one of those. What trade is, if it is from this shit, I just want it to be good. Good enough that we aren't sat there going, oh no, not again.
I can't wait.
That's what I care about.
I can't wait for 10th anniversary Rose Tico's sister. Do you guys remember her name?
No.
Neither do I.
Sabe.
What's her name?
Sabe.
Yeah. Hot Rose. She was way hotter than Rose. She should have been Rose. Paige, Ray Rock says? Okay. Paige is a hot name.
That's correct.
I like Paige. Okay. So can we move on to whoever's next? Is it me or you, Mike?
Yep.
You said you didn't know anybody, so you would just.
So mine's gonna be quicker. So I'm gonna go next.
Okay, you
But
go.
while we were sitting here, I'm gonna blow your guys' fucking minds. Okay.
Start the timer one.
This is this
Right.
isn't a rant. This is a species that is not in the game yet. The whatever the clone people are that make the clones, the one that's a mother to Omega,
Now let's say.
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Her. How cool that would be.
Maybe.
We've never had that
And
before.
how you're gonna have the whole race to have like a team, or
No, just one.
Well-
They all look too much alike, so just put one in there.
Just now let's say.
Well, yeah, there could be good ways of using it, because you could give her a lead, specifically tailor it so it's clones in general. Congratulations, your leftover clones are now usable.
Because now that we're talking
Would
about it, I
she-
really hope that it's not just another version of Bad Batch. Like, now that we've been talking about this.
Would
What'd
you
say,
make
Sean?
Nala say a combatant, Bones, or would she be a non-combatant? Like what?
I mean, none of us have complained about these non-combatants. They're all actually some of the best toons in the game.
Agreed.
I don't think we've ever seen her do anything in combat, so yeah, I'd say like a non-combatant lifter. And maybe she can work with
wouldn't be mad
both.
about that.
Maybe she can work for both the old
It has to-
team and the new team.
Ooh,
can we
hang
spoil
on.
the show? It's long enough after
Please
the
do.
show, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
She can blow herself up as like a Imperial probe droid sort of thing, and it because she does that, right? Doesn't she
Ooh. Yeah.
blow up the building so that they don't get to all the research?
She could do like a sacrifice kind of thing. Where
Okay.
She
Yeah.
blows up and
At the
gives
very
all
end, if the
clones
rest of the team
fast.
dies.
I like that mechanic actually. Is it good for banners? No, but like I want Bodhi Rook to get something like that.
No, I'm talking like if she's got a team of 5, the other 4 all die because she's a non-combatant.
Okay, just
right?
what
She's not
happened? I
gonna
don't
be
know.
able to attack.
I don't. So everyone dies. She blows everybody up.
No, she blew up the research so that the Empire couldn't get to it. So if the rest of her team was to die before she disappears, she actually blows herself up, and it sort of does damage to your team and might take some banners at least, or maybe take out a couple characters. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, you
But
can make her passive,
Like,
and then that could be some kind of. You know how like Star Killer, you have stacks, right? She gets to 100 stacks of whatever kind of like download is, kind of like how Star Killer is, and she could do that. Yeah, I like that idea. And the fact that
I'd
she's
rather
in season.
honestly,
Sorry.
my thought there is make her like Mon Mothma so she can't be targeted. So it's literally, it's a ticking time bomb. And then literally have her so it's like half massive damage or just massive damage in general. So it can be survived if your team's thick enough. But like you get to that point and you've and it's massive damage across the board, you lose. Well, you've cleared it on defense, say, but you're going to go to no banners on defense.
What happens if you win but lose the battle?
The team's killed, but you lose a shit ton of banners. You'll
Yeah,
have
but what if all of
banners.
your characters die as well?
That's fine. You still get the victory because you killed them. But at the end of the day, are you saving that battle knowing full well the banners are dog shit? Have it as a banner stealing team. Literally, how many teams out there have we honestly got that when you see them, you go, oh, fuck, whatever I throw at that, I'm not getting max banners.
Yeah. that's
Whatever I throw at it. Imagine if that was the team where, congratulations, if you are at low health and you cannot take that massive damage, you are just plain fucked.
Can I say something?
You are probably never going to have your protection.
That is only podcast related. You guys have all these fucking counters for shit I say. I want one from Womprat when he says 2 things. Congratulations and what's it? Okay? I love both. I don't want you to stop saying them because I love when you say it. But you say it a lot. So I want a counter for those 2, by the way. Anyways, continue on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was that your predictions?
Well, that's 1. I haven't finished.
Okay.
I'm going to go Crosshair for 2.
Yep.
Teenage Omega for 3. And then refer back to Shaka's answers for the other 2. So just fill in with Shaka's answers.
I heard that comment several times about 3 hours ago. Well, yeah, 3 hours into my drive.
There's no way I could be wrong. He's too good at it. He's too good. I don't have another prediction for the other two. Did I say Asajj? So we'll at least do 4. The Kaminoan, Asajj, Kaminoan. Okay, Kaminoan, Asajj, Crosshair, Teenage Omega, and Tech. Just because I needed a filler for the 5th.
Tech's gone.
Exactly. So we have to do him justice. Even I knew that.
You fell for the bait. Womp, you fell for the bait. Just leave it. Don't go there.
Thanks for spoiling the show, Womp Rat. Jesus Christ, man. We have to wait 3 years before we can start spoiling things.
All right, my turn?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go through them really quickly. So I'd actually thought that they would go away from a light side and do a dark side team. So it was Hemlock, Emery, Wolf, CX2, I think it is the assassin, and SWGOH is the main of the blue light head dudes.
Yeah.
So that's the team, and then what they unlock at the end is Crosshair.
So
I don't know what they'd be.
You see Emery as a dark side character.
I see her as a dark side character, even though I know at the end she does help.
Yeah.
But yeah, same as like Crosshair, I would see him as dark side, given what he has done. He's
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he would go with Bad Batch. Yeah,
Interesting.
Use like I know we've only got one neutral character, but could they not use neutral for like Crosshair and Emery? Because
I feel bad. Crosshair was always bad. I feel like he was always on that border, and then then he got fucked over by the Empire, and then he's come back.
I disagree. I think he was just following orders essentially. And he thought at the time that the Empire was still, it's a very military driven mindset. Like you just follow orders. You know what I mean? You don't question the politics behind it. You just do what you're told to do. And it wasn't until he was literally like backstabbed that he realized that he was just a pawn. So I don't know about that.
But I mean, there's different versions of everyone. You have a dark side Revan and a light side Revan. Darth Vader's a bad guy, but he redeemed himself at the very end. Imagine getting a light side Vader where he's just laying there on the floor. Tell your sister Bones was right for one of them. Another one is leave me as another ability. I don't know what else he says. Take my helmet off so I can see you with my own eyes. And he would just be a passive character who makes Luke JKL an even stronger unit. Laying on the floor.
We just have a...
Oh, God.
One of the abilities.
Like a Damn, we're geniuses. DJ Coffee. Yeah. DJ Coffee, make it happen, man. Make it happen.
Well, you need to go order a latte from him, and he might do it.
That's how you get a kit in the game. Is you have to order a latte from him. It's not a lot, and it's got eggnog in it.
How many sugars? Yeah,
there's eggnog in this latte.
Yeah. All right, cool. So, any last comments, thoughts on the new era that's coming up?
No, but I've seen it a couple times in chat, and I saw it a lot in Three Scoundrels. This is just a generic thing I want to see come to the game. Force Ghost characters. Like, there's a lot of them. That would be really cool.
Literally one of the questions later.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there's more to come yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I did not say that. You guys and your fucking surprises. I did not say that.
Has been written down for 5 days.
I don't read your guys' stuff. Quit writing
you
it to
commented
me.
under it.
That's the...
You commented like 3 hours after I posted it.
All right, just move on. I'll look at it.
You even said that sounds good.
Because I read the first two sentences and I go, sounds great. I'll just go off from the seat of my pants when the show comes.
See, what you didn't realize, Aussie Mike, is when he said that sounds good, he was just referring to the sound of the keystroke on your keyboard, not the actual words that you were typing.
I saw Aussie Mike is typing. I waited for you to post it, and I said, sounds good, as soon as you posted it. Whatever you want to do, man, I'm all for it.
Sure. All right.
We know how long it takes him to read a kit. You expect him to read more than one line in Discord.
Fair enough. I mean, I do put them in nice dot points, but sure.
I'm that guy that
anyway.
you're talking to me, and I listen to half your sentence, and then I just ignore you, wait for you to quit talking, and then I answer.
So you listen to reply, not listen to listen.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
I'm good at the bar. I'm a fun guy to hang out at the bar.
I just choked on chat. Click, click, click. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So the next part of it, we're going to start to look at some predictions for 2025. So the three things are a ship, whether it be a galactic legend, like Executor style capital ship. The next one is what we think it will be the GL, and then a Conquest character or ship, I guess. So we'll just go through them one by one, I guess.
One by one. Yep, that's easier.
Yeah. All right. So who wants to go first for ship?
Yes,
let's do Bones.
Me?
Bones. Yeah.
So you can't copy anybody.
Yeah, and so that you guys sound like dumbasses when you all copy me. Are we doing GL, you said? Which one?
Ship.
Shit. A ship.
Listening to reply.
I hate doing this because this has been the prediction for 3 years now. But it's got to be coming. It's got to. It's time for a ship meta change. It's time. We've been asking for this. We've been getting trolled for 2 years by Meathead. So much that he quit doing it. It's got to be a Red 5 legendary. You can release a couple marquee ships. You can even release a couple marquee characters. 5 of them, and you're going to make quite a bit of money. If you have 5 marquees. You can do 3 marquee ships, 2 marquee pilots. Give me Porkins. Give me... I know I'm just a joke. But give me something like that. Give me Pilot Luke. And maybe they can make it like... You know how Tarful didn't really lift up Wookiees, but he kind of made a team? Give me a generic... Pilot Luke. He lifts up Biggs. Wedge. A couple other really old toons maybe. Make a little team out of that, and then give me legendary Red 5, not Ray 5, you trolling fucks in the... I already know. I haven't looked at the chat yet, but there's a Ray 5 comment in there already. Give me that. And then you've heard this a million times from everyone. Everyone has the same opinion. We all want the same thing. Uplift Home 1, and this is extra predictions. Bring in B-Wing, bring in A-Wing, bring in a Conquest ship unit, make it just fucking awesome. And you could do that over an entire era, easily. I just gave you 5 marquee units for an era. They said Conquest units won't tie into an era, but they can. Tie a Conquest ship in it, and you've just created, in one area, you created a new ship meta. I don't think it's time for a capital ship. There's not enough ships in the game to release another capital ship. You can start doing that and working on that later on the next year, but it just makes more sense, and you'll make just as much money having just a legendary ship, and we haven't had one since the Millennium Falcon. That's 8 years, probably. It makes a lot of sense. Everyone would be happy, and all that. So that's my prediction.
Okay. What?
So mine's a bit of a weird one. I don't think we will get a capital ship this year. mainly because the way they're doing the eras and everything else, they're going to need like a double era to pull it off with enough ships and pilots. You can't just go, oh, here's this. When you look at what we have spared, there isn't enough. There isn't the pilots out there to just fill ships up, let alone the ships, and you're sitting there going, okay, fair enough. If they bring in any ships, I want them to start bringing in more of the Separatist fleet. There is hundreds of them. You've got tri-fighters, you've got HMP gunships, you've got the original Sheathapede, not the freaking whatever the bullshit
Hold
Rebels
on.
did
The
to it.
Sheather Bean?
Sheathapede.
I never heard of that one, but continue on. Also, don't
Sounds
forget,
like that. The what do you call it?
like
The
his sandwich,
Transformer Nah. Never mind.
his body that he eats.
No,
Yeah.
you know the butthole transformer?
Anyways, to add to that, Yoda
Well, yeah.
Starfighter as well.
So
Wait, he's
yeah,
not a separatist,
I would
sorry.
love. I would love them to do something like that. Tell us that, like, here's the first round of, like, even if it was the end of this year, they went, all right, okay, the run up to Christmas, whatever era is going to be all new separatist ships, and the next one in January is going to be the lead to the capital ship. So it's like it spans over the two. It gives us the break in the middle to sort them out. That would be a nice way of doing that one. Do I think they'll do it? Probably not. But yeah, to see like tri-fighters, HMP, gunship, things like that. But yeah, I want to see the Sheathapede, but I know Bones can't even work out what the ship is
I can't even
because he doesn't
comprehend.
know the true name of it.
Okay, that's what I call my penis. So I don't know what you're talking about, but
What's
So-
it called again, Bones?
the Sheather Peen. So is the Sheather Peen your lock in for one ship? Like you have to lock it in. Like I locked in Red 5, explained why, but what is your lock in ship?
My lock-in ship would definitely be probably Tri-Fighter of all of them.
Okay. All right. I like it.
All right.
I like the Sheather Peen better though.
Shaka?
Well, we've already got it in game. That's the reason I brought that one.
Hold on, we do? What
Yeah.
team is it? What ship?
No, the Tri-Fighter.
Oh, okay.
No, the Sheathapede is already in game. It's the Phantom 2.
So why are we bringing it back again if we already have it?
Because it's the Separatist original version. That is the
Right.
Phantom 2 is just a stolen ship.
All right, somebody in chat type that out. I'm looking up the Sheather Peen. So type that in chat so we can figure out what the fuck you're talking
Oh,
about.
you're gonna end up on some German website. if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah,
Hey, I was-
just
On
One
the-
of
the way to look it up, you would just go on to type in Phantom 2, and then it will say, if you go on the wiki for it, it'll say that it is a Sheathapede, and then copy paste that. It's a CIS ship. So yeah.
All right. Shaka?
All right. So I almost want to say see what Bones said, but that's only because Bones is saying see what Shaka said originally from another podcast.
Yeah.
So so my prediction is Red 5. I see him being I'm labeling it as an epic confrontation. They might label it as a legendary. Or it could even potentially be our first like GL ship. Either way, it's gonna be an event, in my opinion, where we are required to have a lot of different things to unlock it. So my original thought was character-wise, I expect and/or characters to be required. That's a big chunk of the era that I expect to come into the game this year is the and/or content. But credit to Yvonne because this is not originally my idea, but I liked it and I'm stealing it now. He had also said they could probably bring the A wing and the B wing to the game as well to help fill out a separate Home One roster. Biggs and Wedge, I think, would still be a part of that, but I could easily see Biggs, Wedge, Red 5 plus A wing and B wing going with Home One, and you have your new new fleet meta, so to speak, from that. But yeah, I don't see a new capital ship coming out this year. I think CG is trying to move away from fleet metas and have more of a diverse just group of fleets that are used in GAC, because I think they're going to get rid of the fleet arena payouts. So
Yeah, we hope they don't. That's my main crystal income.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of time.
I just think
I
I
have more
agree.
on that in the later topic on the fleet arena. But
sorry, spoilers.
yes.
God damn
No,
it! Shock.
that's just my thoughts on one of the questions later on. So, yeah,
You're last,
yeah, I
Mike.
think
You're next.
I have sort of gone. I think we're all on the same page with like a home. Well, except for Womp, on the same page with like a home one lifter, but I see it as Luthen's ship. We've got the character. I just see Red 5 as being that big event. They're going to want to milk the shit out of that when it comes.
Well,
Whereas the
I think
Luthen ship is...
that's the Conquest. What I think is going to be the Conquest ship to help out the Legendary, to make it a true formed out. That's I'm not saying that's your opinion, but that's my opinion. Is that Luthen's ship's going to be a Conquest unit, kind of like the Fury class was for Malgus. And that's what's going to really make that the Legendary ship and the Luthen, in my opinion, is going to be what makes that home one thing. But continue on. That's just my opinion is what they're going to do with that.
Okay. Yeah, I just see the Red 5 as being like a big thing that's going to, like, it'll probably be a similar event maybe to like Executor. Maybe not that high of a level, but they're going to try and milk the shit out of that, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to put into the game than just like a one-off ship. And I think that Luthen's ship is something that could help like a home one squad or fleet, I should say, to get to that point where it's the rock, paper, lizard, Spock sort of thing, where you're going to have the 5 fleets all sort of being able to kill something but be beaten by another thing.
You mean rock, paper, Star Destroyer?
Sure. But there's still 2, there's 5, not just the 3. So,
and to all the people who keep saying stench, we're not, please God, no. Stop recommending trench. No one wants that.
Yeah.
Who started that? Who started the trench train? Like, was it Arnold? Who started this? Because someone just mentioned it, and the whole community went with it. And this has been like...
I think a lot of people were thinking it.
Yeah, it makes sense still. I could easily see that happening.
CG.
The only thing I see
coffee.
that stops...
No.
The only thing I see stopping that is I think that I feel like we didn't get a GL ship this year, or 2022. 2024. I think that was on purpose, that they're not wanting to add any more, especially not that GL level. I think they're going to try and fill in the other fleets to make it more competitive rather than just, well, Executor can beat that.
Yeah.
Leviathan can beat that. Profundity beats that. It's just,
I think
it's not fun.
Yeah, add parity to it.
Yeah.
That's why I think if they're going to do it, they need to consider it as like 2 eras as one massive era, where it's like, here is part 1, here is a load of pilots or a load of ships, and then here is the next one, let's get a bit more out, because you can't turn around and go, oh yeah, we're making it so you need 5 of a faction to run this fleet to actually earn rewards, which is what they've now done. And it's like, if you're going to do that, you kind of need to turn around and give all 5 ships. If that's the case, if 4 of them need pilots, well, there's 2 full eras. If you haven't already got the pilots, if it's CIS, it could be that they go, okay, the new trench ship is all unmanned droid ships, which is a cool idea because that's what he takes. And then they need to give out 2 more ships that bugger off to Malevolence, because they can't strip something and then take it away and then hope. because they had all this before, and we've kind of gone, well, we don't touch half of these ships now because they've stripped them out, and it's like there's no good ships to go with it. We're always going to put the best fleet together. We're not going to strip it out and go, oh, well, we'll put this over here and this over here and get the balanced fleet. No, you just go, here's my 3 fuck-off ships that are my defense. Okay, now can I counter the same thing? Just about. Right, that'll do. And that's it. That's all we do, is you put down the hardest defense you can, and you hope that you can clear it with the bullshit you have.
I will say, Mike, so you had said about Luthen. I think Luthen's ship will come to the game as well, but I see a little different there. I see it being a Conquest character, but I see it going into the Profundity fleet.
Right.
And then the Profundity fleet becomes a scoundrel rebel exclusive. Only the scoundrels work there, and the non-scoundrels go with the Home 1 team. The only question I have with that is MILF. I don't know where MILF would go exactly, because obviously that's a scoundrel ship. And in terms of canon, I think you want to see that with Red 5, but I could see that happening. And then that is your hard. I think that's going to be a hard counter with Luthen's ship to Leviathan. And there's your rock, paper, scissors.
I think because it's QA next into it, and this is a rough guess. We've got QA next that goes to Proving Grounds. You look at Malgus's ship. Malgus's ship came out the day he went into Proving Grounds. If we're going to see a Luthen ship, I reckon in 3 months' time, when we have cleared whatever is next, we will get the next one.
Hold on, Mom.
And if they,
I gotta say this comment.
Don't repeat that. Don't repeat that.
Steve goes, can't wait to use your sheath European to destroy someone's MILF.
he even showed it on stream. Say it right, at least.
I say dick plate. I say dick plate for punishing one. It's sheath European.
So that's what I'm thinking is, if we're going to get Luthen's ship, it's going to be exactly a year after, exactly the same as how they did the What's It ship. If that is the case, yeah, that's a great way of doing it. And that would then give us, okay, well, this guy's obviously a freaking pilot. Oh, look, it's in Conquest. We know in a year's time that is going to be the ship.
I keep reading this comment, and I blew my coffee out of my nose. Every time I read sheath European. You have the coming pants, sheath European, and the dick plate. Alright, I'm sorry.
For those that can't see it, Bones is gradually going red from laughter. So we need him to stop laughing and please breathe.
How do you say you have an 8-year-old mind without saying you do? Okay. All right. I'm serious.
8-year-old, I'd say yours is about 5. But that's not the point.
Yeah. But you make a good point. We all make a good point, especially me.
No, you don't, but that's not the point.
Okay. So the next one is GL prediction. Are we just going to make this easy? Is there anybody who doesn't think Thrawn is the next one?
I don't.
They can speak. Okay, you're up then.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to be Thrawn, and here's the big reason why. In terms of content from the Ahsoka show, which is where this would come from, there's nothing left. They've used everything from the Ahsoka show for Ahsoka and for Balin. So at this point, they pretty much have to wait until a second season of Ahsoka comes out, and they can add new things to it for his requirements. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, because I don't have a great suggestion beyond Thrawn. I don't have here's a guaranteed GL that we're going to see, but I just don't see that happening because they don't have the content to monetize it, essentially. I had said in my YouTube video, and I don't really think this is going to happen, but it would be fun to see Sitil Sean coming to the game and then the raid being a raid where you take on Malgus and fight Malgus. I think that would be fun to see. I don't know that that's going to happen this year, but just as a counter argument to the Thrawn thing, that's something I could see happening. I think it's probably more likely that we would see something from the Revenge of the Sith era, though, in honor of the 20th anniversary of that. But the question becomes, who is it? We talked about this on the Three Scoundrels podcast, and it would be cool to see a GL version of Yoda. I think we deserve that in the game. But the problem is that we already have more light side than we do dark side. I think they're going to want to go dark side next.
Yeah, so...
But I don't know.
You make a fantastic argument. I completely agree, even though I'm sticking with Thrawn. But, like, I guess my thing is with all the other, 8? They're, like, from the same era. They're literal counterparts, like the light side and dark side counterparts. So I guess not picking from the Ahsoka show itself, but what would be a dark side counterpoint? Maybe like I know we already have Lord Vader. Maybe like a Darth Vader with his suit on. Maybe like a Darth Vader, I don't know, what would be a dark side count? Like, what would be? Like I said, it doesn't stick with the Ahsoka era, but like we said earlier,
antithesis,
to Ahsoka herself. You can pick from any genre because she's been in every single genre almost. What would be her dark side counterpart that you could do a GL for?
Well, so the problem is that the GL Ahsoka is specifically from the Ahsoka series, so I feel like her counter would have to be from a similar era.
Now, I've got a strange one. I've got a very strange answer for that.
I want to talk about Thrawn because I think I've got an answer for Shaka. In regards to what characters?
I think this kind of ties to what Shaka was saying, because it's like, how can we top like a similar era? And it's like the obvious answer is Thrawn. The obvious answer is I don't think CG is going to throw that. I really don't, because it's then we're too predictable. The way that they could do it, remember, this series wasn't liked, but you go, okay, take what's his name? Sidious's master. I can't remember his name now. Plagueis, that's the one. So you take Plagueis, you put it there. Granted, he died in the wrong video. He would have died as Maul died, so it's the wrong episode to do it for. But you could tie it very nicely to that stage because he was the precursor to how they got there.
Okay, but at the same time, if you're going to do that, then why wouldn't you just do I get that we already have a Vader, but you just do the Kenobi Vader with the cracked mask or something. Because Vader...
Right, time out. No, that was stolen from Rebels. Do not give Kenobi credit for that crap.
Okay, well, there you go. I mean, she was a big part of Rebels. But I also saw someone say, Jack or somebody say Maul. Maul doesn't have a GL. Vader does.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what version you would do. I guess you could do the spider legs Maul. That would be kind of cool.
Oh, no. If you're going to do Maul, what you would do is when he was the head of the syndicates. And you make him so he literally just works with any syndicate group. And then that gives them time to add 3 or 4 syndicate groups. That gives them loads that it could add to the game just by adding just him. They could go, here is you've got, there's 5 syndicates that we've seen Rebels. Done.
I kind of like Maul.
It is an instant.
Maul kind of meets in the middle. Kind of a counterpart to her. Dark side doesn't have a GL yet. I don't know what the fuck the Marquise would be, but you could come up with something. I'm guessing.
Yeah, Pikes, Huts. There's hundreds of them that they could just add if they went down that route.
You could also, if you want to dig deep, you could add some solo characters we don't have. We were talking about Tobias Beckett the other day, Shaka, because he did show up in the Solo movie. So, you could have, you wouldn't have to be, if you did Maul, you wouldn't have to be stuck with one era, you could say. I get we're going to call it an era, but it could be spread out from a bunch of different places. And it's a GL, So GLs usually spread across a bunch of time. You know what I mean? Like we did the three different, we R9 three different Ahsokas from different time periods for a GL. So, I don't know, I kind of like the Maul idea, to be honest.
Yeah, there is a lot that they could do, and I really don't think, although we'd all love it to be thrown, I think Shocker puts a perfect point up, and they use as marquees.
That's what I've been trying to say for the last 5 minutes.
Damn it, Mike! Stop being reasonable.
Mike, shut up.
Okay.
Would you quit talking so much?
So, Ahsoka, the GL, we had a lot of characters from her past that we already had. Okay? And we had new characters from the Ahsoka show that were the marquees. Okay?
Yep.
Why can it not be the other way around? Why can the new marquees not be things that have happened in Thrawn's past? We've got, like, books, like, heaps of shit on Thrawn's past. Why can they not be the marquees and you have, like, Enoch and stuff be the freebies, the old characters that we had, like Plo and stuff like that for Ahsoka?
That shit.
There's no rule written down that says that the marquees have to be from the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, because there's a lot.
And that's why I've always,
there's a lot of comics and books which I've never read, but people who have read them, I bet are going to spam us in the chat with like just names we never heard of if you haven't read the books. Yeah. So you're probably
even from
right.
outside of the books, like the show there. So the one admiral in the secret council meeting could be one you could bring from the Rebels series. You could bring the black haired lady with the bowl cut looking thing.
Yeah.
You've
also got Agent Callus.
Yeah.
You've got, if you really, really want to go with it, you could do Rook, you could do Blind Kanan.
Rook, yeah.
They could go all sorts of places.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe we haven't thought of that. Wow. Well done, Mike.
Yeah. All right.
Let's be fair. In Three Scoundrels, I said they could pull from Legend material, but we'll give it to Mike. We'll give it to Mike. This is a new podcast. We're starting over fresh. We're starting over new. So, good job, Mike.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so hold on, Shaka. What is your lock-in answer? We've discussed. You can change it. Remember, it's got to be a dark side. I love Shatil San. I would like to see it, but give us a dark side GL. You think?
So Mike convinced me, man. Because I think the GL will come in the later half of the 25, because I think that'll be the next raid. So I think the first raid we got coming is not going to be Peridea related. I'm not going to give answers to that yet. But I think it won't be Peridea related. But I think that the next raid after that is going to be tied to the GL that we get. And if it is Thrawn, then that raid could be a Peridea raid where you can use all of the Ahsoka content plus the Thrawn content. And that makes sense, man, to have some of those older Empire characters come in for Thrawn. And theoretically, they could still work in a Peridea raid if we haven't seen them on screen. So like Rook, for instance, there's no confirmation that he's dead. So why not be able to use him in Peridea? Even though we didn't see him, he could still theoretically be available. So like, I'm sold, man. There are a lot of great characters from his history that should come to the game. That would be great in the game. That's a really good call.
And I've literally just started audiobook the Thrawn series. The Ascendancy ones and that. So I finished the first book and I'm like, and that's just purely like his start. So there's like 30 characters in that without thinking about anything else past that.
There's characters already in the game that they can make you highly relic. You know what I mean? They can make you R8. Ooh. You know, like Kira, because, well, I'm thinking Maul now. I'm sorry. I'm going back to the Maul thing. But you know what I mean? There's a lot of Empire characters. People are saying Tarkin and stuff like that. So, and Thrawn himself, even though Thrawn's already R8, I think, R7, R8. But yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think it makes sense. That's a good point. So, what is your lock-in answer? Thrawn?
Yeah, let's go Thrawn. I'm trying to keep each of these things different, so let's go with that.
Yeah.
So you're right on one of them.
Yeah, well, I'm bound to hit one of them at some point. Yeah.
I'm going to have to go through all three of your videos, both podcasts and your video, and each one's going to get graded.
Yeah.
We'll have a bot.
I honestly think we've got a high risk of it being Thrawn even though I know they won't want to be predictable, I think after what Ozzy Mike said, there is a good chance that they could go, here's all the shit from his past that just is a load of filler units. There's no necessary to them making the team. They could just make a load of filler for other teams and lifters. Use a load of marquees as lifters, which would be really fucking cool.
Ahsoka was on a silver platter for them last year.
We all
Drawn
guess
is
that.
the same.
We all guess that.
They don't need to. They don't need to think. It's just find us 6 or 7 new characters from wherever.
Yep.
And
Guys, spend your money. Here's your character.
And remember, like, I get that there's still a bunch of characters that are in movies and shows that haven't been introduced, but if they're wanting to go around for another 5 to 10 years, you're going to have to start reaching deep. So they might as well start now. You know what I mean? Well, they're already introducing video game characters. We've had a couple legendaries. They've created their own characters from scratch. So it's not unheard of or crazy to think they could start this year. Start really reaching. I hear people all the time in every stream, I want this crazy name and lore that I've never heard of, but I'll see that same name all the time. So obviously that deep lore character is popular if if you're into lore and you're into the books and stuff. So no one's going to complain about that.
I don't think that's a CG problem. I think that's a Disney problem. I think they have the problem is getting that cleared.
That's true. Yeah, because they don't like legend. They cherry pick from Legends. See, they definitely do cherry pick from it, but they don't really like it.
It's again a business thing. Like they don't want content that they could potentially use in the future to be used and then box them in. If it's something that could be used down the line, like Omega, like we talked about, they don't want some video game using them outside of the context that's already been pre-established by Disney. If it's been pre-established by Disney, or they have no desire to use it, like the Dark Side Vision Ray, then sure, go ahead. But it's a business decision. They don't want to lose content that they could potentially use down the line.
But like those the new Thrawn trilogy is in Disney canon. The old ones aren't. There's 6 Thrawn books, so that you could cherry pick from those books for sure.
Which ones are they? Can you send them to me?
I think you're reading them. The Heir to the Empire is the old ones. I think the Ascendancy ones is the new ones. So I think you're listening to the Disney. We could say Disney canon. Any books that have been released post Disney is Disney approving. So that's pretty much Disney Legends, you could say. Disney approved. Heir to the Empire is the old ones. But yeah. So is everybody locking in Thrawn? I really like the Maul idea. I really like them all. But Thrawn is the safe answer, I'd say.
I don't think they'll do Maul unless they do a separate, like, Crimson Dawn version of Maul in media in some capacity. If that happens, then yeah, look out. Maul's coming to the game. I
do I really feel like Yoda is needed to be a GL before everything is said and done.
We talked about this on the other podcast. I could see in 5 years' time them doing a GL Sidious and a GL Yoda for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
I just don't see it working right now is all.
But you're onto something, Shaka, about Old Republic. There's not very many factions that don't have a GL. I feel like they're trying to fill out all factions with GL, but they just made the mercenary tag. That's why Thrawn would work with mercenaries. But there is a Old Republic GL coming very, very soon. I just don't think it's this year.
It's needed.
Yeah, which is
people did raise a good point though that from a canon standpoint, Satele Shan really should be a Conquest character because Malgus was a Conquest character. I get that.
I just see them doing one, and that is, everyone said it. This is another popular one is Revan Reborn because you would make him neutral. He could synergize with both sides. There's lots of dark side, lots of light side. And like you said, you could bring in Satele to be that Ezreal, that cat for him. Mm-hmm. I think that's next because so that you don't have to release 2. You release it's a one-off. It's a neutral Old Republic, and I think that's what will come next year. But they got to even out this with the dark side before they can do anything like that. Okay. Do we want to move on?
Yep. All right. So next one is a Conquest character. Shaka, you can go first. I was going to do Womp first, but he just wheeled away, so he missed his his spot.
I'll go with the Andor content on this one because I'm very, very confident we're going to see Andor content this year. So we mentioned earlier Luthen ship. I could easily see Luthen ship being an option there. But I'm more leaning towards seeing probably Dedra. So I think we're going to see a bunch of Andor marquees in April and during that era, the second quarter. I see those characters leading towards like a Marva as the legendary instead of Dedra, but they could flip-flop that. But I think in terms of a standalone character that just plugs in with what exists already, I think Dedra makes the most sense. So I could see her being a Conquest character in the second quarter during the Andor era.
So who was Dedra's the blonde one?
Yes.
Who is the other one you said?
Marva is the other potential. It depends on how they want to go about it. Like if they want to have your legendary be a light side and they do more light side characters, I could see it being Marva as the legendary. But if they go more dark side characters and then the legendary for that is the dark side character, then I could see it being Dedra. So it's kind of it just depends on how they want to approach the marquees and whether they're building out the Imperial faction more or whether they're building out. I think it's going to be a mercenary. I think they're going to probably drop more light side mercenary characters because I think there's going to be a mercenary raid in the second quarter.
What about
Yeah.
Is it the sister? That's she's like a rebel.
You talking about Bix?
Rule? Maybe.
Bix isn't a sister, but he kind of thinks of her like a sister. I think they might be lovers. I can't remember.
Hey, Shock.
Star Wars is
Shock. What was his mom's name?
Marva.
Oh, that's who you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, let's get
Marva's his mom. Yeah.
Can we get a Force Ghost Marva? I mean, you can make her a hologram.
So I see her as a non-combatant. Yeah, she's a non-combatant. She rallies the troops. She's kind of like Luthen in that regard.
That would I want the Force Ghost stuff. So it would be cool if she was a hologram because that's when she lifted them up. Remember, she wasn't alive. She was the hologram. And that's what inspired them.
But I don't see her being a complete Force Ghost. Like, if anything, I see her having like a mini alt where she goes into like Force Ghost version of herself, and then everyone else gains massive stat boosts. Like, I think it would be cool to see you be able to target her. I haven't thought about this yet, but it'd be really cool to see her being kind of like a taunt, like a forced taunt that sacrifices herself. So you're forced to hit her, and if she dies, she goes into ghost form version of herself, and everyone on your team gets, massively inspired or something like that, and you gain massive stat boosts and speed and everything else, and it rallies the scoundrel.
Now you've got me excited. Like, I didn't care before, but now that sounds awesome. If they went that direction,
I think it'd be really
cool.
I think it'd be really neat. And in terms of, again, if it's all like they could all be mercenary characters, because like Vel and Cinta, they're mercenaries.
Well, Val is the one I'm thinking of. It's Mon Mothma's cousin.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. The cousin. Yeah. But like all of them are mercenaries. There's others, I can't remember the names of them off the top of my head that die during the series. You could bring them into the game too, but they all serve as mercenaries, and that way you're capitalizing on some of this Ahsoka content with the mercenary tags, plus the pre-existing mercenary faction and these new characters, and that all ties in really well with a mercenary raid, in my opinion. And they could, if you want to keep it on canon, make it that you're going in and stealing the Imperial credits from the Imperials that we saw in the Andor show. Like, it just makes so much sense to me, especially with Andor Season 2 dropping in April, which is when the next raid should start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like that idea.
That's a good... that's a good call.
It's the gas event all over again.
What category are we doing?
Tier
Conquest?
This is Conquest character.
Okay, so what's your lock-in? You said a lot of names. What's your lock-in?
Lock-in answer for Conquest would be Dedra.
Okay. Womprat. Okay. What about you?
Right. So Conquest for me, I already know what is likely to happen is likely not this next one. The one after is going to be the ship for Luthen. And that's probably what I'll lock in because it's basically guaranteed. He's going to be a lifter for either the Rebel fleet in general or specifically the Profundity. Remember, with the changes they've just done to the levy, it's ruled out the Profundity. It is a really now a rough counter. So why would they not give it a lifter? Nice and simple. That's where I honestly think we're going.
Okay. Easy. All right. My Conquest character is the mercenary Asajj. I think Balin's team, I don't know whether she'll go onto Balin's team, but I think the mercenary tag sort of needs a couple more decent characters in there. And I just think it's probably like an easy one just to, on the back of all the Bad Batch stuff, and I just think they might add that in as a Conquest toon, maybe the next one even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones is back. Very good timing. You're up.
Yep.
Conquest toon. She's like, what? Number 56 podcast.
Hold on. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, she doesn't care about my podcast or my streaming. She's never watched one in my 5 years of playing. So my lock-in is I agree. Luthen's ship is a guarantee. It's no matter what they use it for, that is a guarantee. So that I'm right, I'm going to lock that in. But I mentioned this on Three Scoundrels. They're not going to do an entire marquee system or era on the Acolyte, but they're going to slip an Acolyte character in there. And I can just see Queermere being a Conquest character. He was really badass. He was probably one of the more highlights. Please don't judge me for saying there was a highlight in the Acolyte because it was one of the most biggest atrocities to all Star Wars. But he had a couple cool scenes where he's murdering Jedi and stuff. You can make him a badass and be a single one alone Sith character. He could live something. He could be his own leader. He can turn, underage light side chicks to the dark side with his dick. So that could be his ultimate. Yeah. So that's Queermere for you.
All right.
So, but I'm locking in Luthen.
Okay. All right. So
I might be mandated to report Bones. I'm not sure.
I have made some questionable comments, but I promise.
Yeah,
I promise. I'm not into that. I promise. That was the Acolyte. I'm just telling you what happened on the Acolyte. The first one was a little suspect, but that happened in the Acolyte. So that's on Disney. All right, continue on.
I've got his address if you want me to forward it.
All right, let's not dwell on me being a weirdo. Continue on.
Okay. All right. So the next two points or predictions, I guess. Well, they're not really predictions, but it's something that you would like added to the game in 2025, and then something that you want changed or removed.
So you said we were getting to Force Ghosts later. When was that going to happen? I mentioned Force Ghosts, and you're like, we're going to get to that later.
If you want to add them to the game, here's your chance.
Oh, okay. All right. Continue on.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so we know Bones is one, so we can skip over him to save a bit of time.
How do you know that's my answer?
Yep.
Is that your answer?
I want them to, I said this earlier, I want them to start going back to the hero collecting, like embracing hero collecting. If you're making a new raid, give us a character to go along with it. If you're giving us a new, planet, I'll R9 5 characters if you let me collect somebody. Go back to that, and then yes, give me some kind of Force character. Give me a whole squad of Force Ghosts. And they're all passive, except for one character can do a wave that does 1% damage so that they can't die. It's a timeout team. they're ghosts. You can't kill them, so they're just a timeout team on defense. That's my answer.
Okay. One.
I just want them to sort out the interfaces for like mods and datacrons in general. Make it better. That would make me happy. Just sort those out because at the moment they're utter dog shit.
Yeah, we need
fair.
more datacrons. Can we just get more datacrons? Give us a third set. Make us farm more datacrons. Make it harder to farm them. Give us more. Just make us hate datacrons more than we already do, please.
No. Honestly, when it was 3 sets, God, it was going to be awful. Like, they were going to be around for fuck knows how long. No. That was just no. But now, at least, yeah, okay, they're around for 4 months. That's it. They fuck off. And yeah, there's some sets I am happy to see the back of, and there's some sets where it's like, who doesn't want the Wampacron back? Who doesn't want the Palpacron back? They were fun and stupid. They made fun, stupid things capable. Honestly, shit like that needs to be looked at, and I think if they're going to do anything, put something fun and stupid in every Datacron set.
I agree.
Do something like that. It would be more engagement. By a long shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think datacrons are the best thing to come to the game. I think they're amazing, and they should just make us do more of those.
Listen, I know you hate them, but if
I'm
they
glad
didn't
that
come
you
to the game, we would still have the whole concept of a brand new meta team that can't be beat by anything. Like that would be what it is. So I know people don't like them, but I'm grateful for them because that was worse in my opinion. That was a far more toxic setting than having a rotating meta with datacrons is. I get that people don't like that they're temporary. It'd be nice if maybe we could keep like one, like literally you get to save one datacron from a set and that's it. But or at minimum at least give us all of our currency back from them. Let's start there. Let's be honest here. But I'd rather have that than a new meta every time that's unbeatable by your entire roster. That shit's toxic.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about them all day, but I could not disagree more.
The main thing for me is that it stops a lot of the could you imagine, like, you look at the ridiculous team that we will be talking about in a little while where you can't beat it normally. You end up two-shotting it. How would you feel if, because of no datacrons, and you are reliant on datacrons to two-shot the bloody thing, imagine if that was the case where it was, oh, you had to three-shot it, or you had to four-shot it, just because it's there. That's the meta we would be in. And honestly, I do not mind that datacrons come in and basically make people go, shit, I cannot place that on defense because right now something like Imperial Troopers counter it.
Yep.
All because of a temporary buff. And it scares the bigger players into going, I actually have to think about my defense.
Okay, save all that for a minute because that can be our last subject because we're almost hitting 3 hours.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Let's go around. Let's finish these off, and then we can talk about that. Let's finish here.
All right,
Yeah.
Shaka?
So I don't know. Mine are kind of both like similar. It's not. I don't necessarily have anything brand new that I want to see come to the game. It's more things that I think need to be adjusted. I forget. Are we doing brand new thing right now, or thing that needs to be changed?
New thing.
Brand new thing.
Oh.
Okay. I guess for me, brand new would be the TW needs to be completely revamped.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, I think you're getting the right line of thinking, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's something that...
That's considered new.
Yeah.
yeah, it needs to be a total overhaul. It needs to be completely different. Like, we can't just like I know people say, well, at minimum, just adjust the zones a little bit or rework the board. I don't think that works either because the reason people hate TW so much is because you have an entire wall of the same thing, and you end up sitting there waiting for 3 hours or 4 hours for everyone to go in and attack and take down that wall. And it becomes a 24-hour event. Unlike GAC, where you have 24 hours to do it and be done, you have to be on call for 24 hours, and that sucks. Even in a not like our guild is relatively non-competitive with that, but they still expect you to be around and attack at times. It's still not healthy. Like, they need to make it so that you can go in, you do your attacks, and that counts towards the totality of it, and you're done. You know, and like more like GAC, I guess I would say. I don't know.
So Shock, I have a question. What if they kept it kind of the same, but instead of putting 50 people in one territory, let's say they cut those territories in like a fourth, so you can only put maybe 10 or 15 people in a zone, and then you chop them up into smaller zones, so then you're allowed to go around things easier, stuff like that.
It's still, to me, that still doesn't solve the issue, because you're still, like, even if you have like 5 zones in the front, for instance,
you could still fill them all
waiting for everyone to go in and do their attacks to clear the next zone. So you're still on call the entire time. Like, it needs to be individualized, kind of like they did with the raid. The raid used to be dependent on everyone going in and attacking at certain times, especially with the Sith raid. And now it's just about you going in and doing your part and being done. Like, that's the way TW needs to be. It's still a group effort in getting the win, but you're just kind of totalizing. Oh my God. Totaling everyone's individual scores. And then that total score dictates which guild wins. You know what I mean? Something like that.
One other question. Would you be okay? I don't want them to take cores away from Arena. I just like doing that. It's a quick way to get my cores every day. But would you want them to? Would you? I mean, I don't even know if it would work, because I don't know how they would do it. But would you want them to take away? Cores. They're called cores, aren't they? Crystals. I play Marvel Strike Force. I think they're called cores in Strike Force. Yeah, in Strike Force.
It's the wrong guy.
Anyway,
somebody translate. What are cores?
Purple crystals? Special currency. Yeah, crystals.
Crystals.
Yeah.
But before you go on to that, because it kind of covers the TW thing, the major thing that I'm finding at the moment is like, there is a reason, because we're trying to keep it together, Bones. The major thing that we've faced, like recently, my guild were at 120 million. We faced a 630 million guild, because we're over the 380 bracket. They need to put in more brackets, because when this was all done, the biggest guilds in the game weren't even 400 million. The biggest guilds in the game didn't have that. Is now there's brackets way above it where you can end up like what the state we're in is, where it's 420 million guild against a 630 million guild. You just have no chance in sign up. They turn around, they go, oh yeah, we're going to sign up with 35. Oh look, it's 35 in a zone. Oh look, it's full zones all the way back. Like, we couldn't break a front wall. Like, our walls do not consist of 35 of the same GL. We're not that big of a guild. Why are we facing a guild that is that level of guild?
You guys are going to roll your eyes, but Marvel Strike Force does it to where each zone is one person. So you'll never have more than one of the same team. It's just one person takes out of the roster and puts down 5 to 10 teams, whatever you want to do with it. And each zone you'd only have one Ahsoka or one Leia or whatever they decide to put down instead of 50. So if each territory was just one person putting down their stuff, then it would change a lot of things. Yeah, fuck you guys, by the way. MSF represent. I play both. I love them both. They do.
Has he just noticed that the fuck MSF is an automated thing? Like, I've not touched it. MSF. It's completely automated.
MSF.
It's great.
I'm saying MSF and nothing's happening.
Come on, Steve, put it in again. He said it twice more.
He has to be there. Okay, all right.
Well, one of the mods has to trigger it.
Anyways, I think every fucking stream we do, we discuss TW rework. So let's move it along. I do agree though. It's the one thing it's the elephant in the room for sure.
Why don't they just get rid of TW and just have everybody's GAC scores just added together versus whatever other guild you get matched up against? I don't know. some like it, because then you don't have to worry about being on all day and all that sort of shit.
Because
anyway.
there's people that just are obsessed with TW. Like that's why they play the game. So that'll never happen. And you need guild engagement, and that's one of the. Even though it's the elephant in the room that it's bad, you still need some kind of TW battle where you fight other guilds.
At minimum, a solution would be to have you choose which version you play. You know, let's say you like the old version where it really is like the entire guild all at the same time, and then you have another version where it's more like a GAC and it's a cumulative score type version. They're probably not going to do that. That's probably too much work on their part. But that, you know, again, we're just spitballing ideas. So
yeah, I also think that's how they should do with GAC. If you like 3v3, you should be able to pick between 5v5 and 3v3. I think that would be cool too. Because I don't know. I don't hate 3v3, but it's like, I don't want to do it. Why are you making me? This game wasn't made for 3v3.
But you do better at 3v3 than 5v5.
You're right. I do.
At least on my account.
No, I do. I was saying that the other day. I don't love it, but I do better. Okay. Who hasn't answered yet?
All right. My new thing would be to add the Watt and Cam missions to Rise of the Empire and fuck all the other TBs off. I just think that they are such a useless thing, and why we've now had a light speed bundle for both Watt and Cam. So why are we now like forcing guilds to go and do light side or dark side GOTB for literally a character that now they've just given to us?
Just slap them in the phase 1.
Well, no, they can go on the Geonosis planet because they've got a planet there already, and you can have both of the battles because they don't use. There's no conflicting characters because one's obviously the Geos and the other's the clones. Why not?
No, I like that.
I kind of get sick of having to select Rise of the Empire.
I like that idea. The only problem is like brand new guild, well, not brand new guilds, but newer guilds would struggle to do that because of the Relic 5 requirement in Rote.
Probably true. Yep.
So.
Yep. But would brand new guilds be doing? Oh, you're talking about like for not so much the Watt and the Cam mission, but just in general, they wouldn't get through a planet.
Well, no, I mean, like if they bring those to Rote, the minimum level requirements to do a battle in Rote is Relic 5. So newer guilds aren't going to have that.
Well, you wouldn't have to take it away. You could still have it in the old ones, but have the option. You know what I mean? Add it. You could say don't necessarily take away, but just add it to Rote.
And
they could just up the missions.
Realistically, they could make it so it's not a Relic 5 requirement. I mean, look at the bow mission. The zones are supposed to be Relic 8, but they made the mission required to be Relic 9. So they can make the requirement whatever level they want to. So they could still do it. They just have to make it like a Gear 11 requirement or something like that instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes a bigger guild could bring in a 2 million account that's Reva ready. So
it could still stay as the requirements from the dark side and light side Geo, because they need to be 16,500 GP or something to get into the mission. Yeah. So they could still use those same cutoffs and everything. But yeah, that was my suggestion.
Yeah. Yep. Honestly, I think it is a good idea. They do need to do something, because at the moment, like, no guild wants to go back to just clear it. But yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Come on.
All right.
Let's speed through the last one.
Something that we want to remove or change.
Surprise, surprise on my part, datacrons. Just delete them. Never, just act like they never happened. I get that they won't happen. Don't get butthurt in the chat, everybody. I know it's not going to happen. But if I could summon Shenron and I collected all the Dragon Balls, my wish wouldn't be wealth. It would be get rid of the fucking datacrons in SWGOH. That would be the biggest wish of my life. That's my answer.
All right. I don't think we need to go into that anymore. Shaka.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of agree with Womp Rat on this, but I'll give a different answer just to make variety. So I think the UI for datacrons absolutely needs to change. So that's more usable. And mods too. I'd like to see a snapshot in mods like we have in Hot Utils. But just to mix it up, to do something different. So Omicrons. Omicron started as being a way to bring up old characters to viability in individual game modes. Okay. That's dead. Like, can anybody name the last old character that got an Omicron?
No.
Already
It was a while back now.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know.
That needs to come back. I understand that they can't monetize that very well, but like that was the whole premise of the Omicrons. I don't mind putting Omicron, especially with the new approach. So like putting Omicrons on an entire team and those different Omicrons make that team viable in different game modes. I'm not opposed to that. I think that's a perfectly great idea. But we still need Omicrons on some of these older characters to bring them up to viability in other game modes. And they have just completely abandoned that. And it needs to come back. That needs to come back. It was a whole core aspect of it. And it just gives us reason to have fun with old characters again. Like, please bring that back, CG.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, it's okay to put 3 on a new one. I'm not against that. I'm not opposed to it. But yeah, every once in a while, just at a random time when things are slow, say, boom, we put an Omicron on someone. That's going to bring hype. That's going to make people excited. It's something to mess around with for a couple of weeks or a month to figure out. So I agree. It's time.
Yep.
It's time.
All right, you got anything, Womp?
Honestly, datacrons, mods, that's majority just shit I want sorted. Because, yeah, it's one of those where it's just bullshit. The fact that we all switched to Hot Utils to go, this is easier. The only other one that I'd like is to be able to actually like have a mass loadout. That way we can change shit and then click one button in game and change it all fucking back. That would be a godsend. But that's it.
I still think there's
have the ability to snapshot.
I think there's a conspiracy theory there that they work hand in hand or something. Because I'm sure Hot Utils makes a pretty penny, and there's something there. I think there's a reason why they don't spend much time on mod.
Don't
sorting.
talk shit about Hot Utils. I'm support. Remember?
Yes. If you have any problems with Hot Utils, first of all, go subscribe, and Mike will help you out with any problems you have. I'll give you his personal home phone, and he's there to help.
Wait, are you involved with Hot Utils, Mike?
I am like base level support stuff.
Really?
Like I don't do any of the developing or anything. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know.
So like if you go on and ask a question or have a problem or whatever, if I don't understand, well, generally speaking, if it's something simple, I can answer it. Otherwise, I just tag the developer or whatever that knows how to fix it. So.
Well, look at you.
Yeah. Only because I've used it since I started playing back in
Do you get it for free or anything for doing that? Do you get it for free or anything for doing that? Okay. All right. I'm not trying to get you in trouble. Hot Utils. It's my fault, not his. I'm an asshole. Don't listen to me or him. Okay. So are we done with that part?
I haven't even answered.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to rush
All
right, continue on.
I want to get rid of gems from Fleet Arena. I want to put them...
No.
I just want to fuck them off, because you have seen my fleet shard. I have now started to try, because I can auto the Leviathan battle now. To go to number 1, I got there one day, and then they took me to fucking 29th. Which means I need 6 battles to get back to first. Get up to first, 29th. First, 29th. The fuckers are tormenting me, making me use a refresh to get to first each day. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway,
It's because
I just
of the
don't
mafia in your shard. I'm blessed to have a chill one, so I don't have to do that.
Mike, check your messages.
But here's my thing for that is like I don't want that to happen because I get number 1 every day. If I don't, it's whatever. But if
the gems would go to somewhere else.
But I keep hold on. I keep hearing people say put it in TW. TW happens 4 times a month. So how are you going to get the crystals? Like I'm getting 400 every day. So you're telling me I have to wait 4 times a month to get my payout? No, I don't think that's going to work out. I like the idea. It just needs to
go into GAC.
I don't. Some people don't like GAC,
just boost the number,
and some people aren't good at GAC. So what if you're one of those people in Chromium who are going up against 10 million accounts and you're at 2 million? I don't like that idea either. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. I get like for the people who aren't getting top 10 that it's a pain in the ass and you would want it somewhere else. I just don't know where else you would put it because yeah, I mean I just don't unless you just take it out and you give people for free 400 every day. Where the game's going, getting free 400 for everyone every day isn't that big of a deal, to be honest. I think everyone deserves a free 400 every day because it's not going to make that big of a difference. You know, you got in-gamers who have 80,000 just sitting in their box. So giving all players 400 a day, now that would make the most sense. You could even go down to like 300 a day for everybody. But I don't know.
All right.
So Mike, fuck your choice. Don't ever speak again. Just sit there.
All right.
Hi, Mike.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
You don't ever get to talk, so I'm just being mean.
So we've got one more thing to cover before podcast questions, so we'll cover that now quite quickly. So there is a team going around at the moment that we are all beginning to love, hate, and fucking fear, and it is GL Ray, Ezra Exile, Fulcrum, and Baby Cal. If you then add Fulcrum and Baby Cal's Ommies and Fulcrum's Datacron, there is actually no way to single shot it because even the souped up version of Sia Malikos with Starkiller fails. Even with the Starkiller Cron, even with the Malgus Cron, it is damn near unkillable. It is terrifying.
This is in TW or okay? This is in TW or GAC?
TW.
Yeah, in TW, it is absolutely terrifying as shit.
What's this team comp again? Sorry, can you say it again?
GL Ray, Ezra Bridger Exile, Ben, and then Baby Cal and Fulcrum.
With the Fulcrum Cron.
With the Omicron.
With the Fulcrum Cron and both Omicrons, so Fulcrum's on, because Baby Cal stops normal Starkiller from working.
Oh.
The Starkiller gets stopped because now Fulcrum's hitting like a fucking truck. And the whole thing, you just sit there and you go, what the fuck do I throw at this bastard thing? Like, we picked one apart by amped up Starkiller and Seer, which literally killed one character. Was right now that's shut down. I can go in and clear it up a bit easier, but it still took like 3 or 4 of them to actually clear the team. If you see a wall of that, what are you going to clear it with? It is horrible to think about. It is.
Think about the children, man. Think about the children.
Right.
So
I know not everybody plays TW, but if that's on a front wall, you don't go through it.
Do you have a answer to that, or you're just saying it's a problem?
No.
Yeah.
There isn't actually an easy team that can go through it, because our guild, we cleared, I think, 3 of them, and like we had a coordinated effort between guys that had the Sia Malikos team with Starkiller, with a decent Starkiller Cron going, huh. And it was like, we had that moment of we cleared 3 or 4, and it was like, North's just as goddamn bad. We're not going North because we haven't got enough teams to do it, because our answer to it is on defense. And what the fuck are we going to do with this? And yeah, honestly, I don't think it is completely unbeatable. I think the higher up guilds have probably already found some form of answer. But honestly, I want to try and get us to look at things and go, let's try and find answers. Let's let the cat out of the bag. Let people actually find ways of killing it. Because every so often, like every guild could fight one of those really big guilds that's dropped in numbers specifically so they can sandbag and win. And that's their front wall. And that's what we had this time, where there was 34 out of 36 with that.
Okay, can we move on to a move that someone actually cares about, though? Because we are at 3 hours and 5 minutes.
There are a lot of people that care about TW bounce, just because you don't.
No, most people don't. We just discussed for 30 minutes how it needs a rework.
It needs a rework, 100%. But there are people that absolutely love it.
But we are on... So I need to go because I have to do my GAC as well. So it's a problem. As you said, GL Ray. Ahsoka's also a problem in TW real quick, right? How are people beating her in TW with Leia?
Leia.
Leia? Okay.
Leia. Instant.
People are not beating ours. Not with the Ahsoka Cron.
Yeah, with the Ahsoka Cron, it is a lot rougher. It is really rough.
I saw someone post they put one Ahsoka in a territory. The other guild didn't beat it and had 40 holds. And that
team's been like that too.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. I have seen that. But I have a question because I'm in 3v3 Grand Arena and I do care about that. And I'm going to go up against a Glat here in a couple hours. Any info? Have you guys talked to anyone what they're doing against Glat in 3v3? Mind you, this one has Ezreal in it, stuff like, and I think I have to go up. So is Great Mothers working? Because I heard at one point Great Mothers would do it.
I've beaten it with Seer Malicos.
Really? Okay.
Seer Malicos Maul, yeah.
That's good to know.
Well, then you've also got the normal layer comp, beats it hands down every time. Honestly, I think there's a lot more counters to at this level at 3v3 than there will be at 5v5.
Agreed. Yeah, it's not that great in threes.
Is the kill order Ezreal first?
That's what I did, yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
With Maul, I hard focused on Ezra. By the end of Maul's 5 hits, I was able to take Ezra out, and at that point, you're golden.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's kind of all I need to know about that. Do you want to talk about any other problems in GAC or anything, TW?
No. But like, there's some really hard teams thanks to the datacrons that are out, but none of them, especially in GAC, because it's like there is some very fun counters, like some very stupid counters. Like, who would have thought Jabba can be defeated by Enoch? Who would have honestly thought that? It's just like, it works. It's hilarious that it works, and it's like, yeah, okay. Let's just piss people off that have chucked Jabba on defense and throw a team that we're never going to use and kill it. So, one of those.
Okay. Real quick, our supposed co-host, Matthias, resubbed and gifted a couple subs. He's been supposedly coming on for the last 2 months, but we're still waiting. So someday he'll be on as a co-host. He's still a special guest until then. I want to shout out to Death's Helm. Thank you for the follow, buddy. A57er, thank you for the follow. And I feel like we had another one. I don't think so. JBM Toon 88 and Dills Pogan Ovid Edits. Thank you for the follow as well. We appreciate you guys. Oh, also Kabuto Khan, KC, Kansas City, baby. Josen Pie 2109. Thank you. We appreciate you guys, all the support. Love y'all. And Kickban, this very minute. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed to us, fucking hit the button. We're the Huts Hangout. We care about you. We care about your international viability. We're here for you guys that aren't in the U.S.
So apparently Shaka did more promoting than we did. This came because Shaka said it was on.
Thank you, Shaka. But you shun him. You better shun him for telling people before they went live.
You meant to make the joke out of it that I'm not on this episode. Honest.
This is AI. This is AI Shaka. It's taken us a long time to process this and time it perfectly with his answers.
Yeah.
Also, TK, right. I agree. Go Vikings. They're my second favorite team. My favorite NFC team. Hopefully, we get a Chiefs Vikings reunion Super Bowl, and hopefully we beat you guys just like we did in the third one. Sorry.
So, questions this week. Let's crack on with the questions, and then we can be done.
Get the hell out of here.
So, guys, we're at 3 hours and 10 minutes, but let's start talking about football.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk football for the next hour. Come on.
Big game shot.
Proper football, or
handball is as Womp calls
it.
Hand egg. Yeah. Who the Steelers play? You guys play someone important tomorrow, right? Bengals
today.
Dude, please beat the shit. I hate the Bengals. I hate Steelers, but I hate the Bengals. And they've talked so much shit.
We want to win.
Hopefully the Ravens
lose. Anyway.
Okay. No NFL. Everyone's freaking out in chat. Fuck you guys. NFL rules supreme over anything, including SWGOH. I don't care what you guys think. Hand egg is the shit. All right. Do your fucking questions.
Right.
All right. First question has come from Tony. What is your favorite non-meta team and why?
Shock.
Can I go first?
No, Shock. Shock first.
Well, I got to stay canon with what I said earlier. Star Killer. Is that non-meta? Like, that's not a GL. I'm assuming that counts.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, he would be meta.
Yeah, well, I was thinking more like Tuscans, Jawas, that sort of stuff.
So, like a non-Omicron team, maybe?
Pretty much one you don't use. Pretty much what's your favorite character that you don't use in the game?
Captain Phasma. Well, here's one. Like being Galactic Republic.
You
like
said Nest.
Team.
You said Nest earlier. Nest doesn't get used anymore, but you like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I would probably say like a scoundrel fact. Let's go with like the prepared comp. They've kind of been obliterated. I used to put them on defense a lot, but that's a team I like, and that's what I'd like to see Tobias Beckett come back at some point and revitalize that faction. I love the scoundrel faction as a whole because there's so much theory crafting potential. So let's go with we'll go with the prepared team.
Shock. Did you play Shadows of the Empire?
Nope.
The N64 game? Okay. There's so many.
I never had N64.
It also had like a comics and everything. There's so much cool content, like bad guys and ships. And it was Dash Rendar was the main character. I hope they do an era of Shadows of the Empire sometime. All right, Womp, go next.
So mine is Ewoks, but more specifically, speedy Ewoks. Because holy shit, people make mistakes, and that team punishes. It doesn't matter if you take in the. It doesn't matter if you take in the absolute perfect counter. If they are fast and you fuck up, like you press the wrong button at the wrong time, they run away and that is it. It's over then. And it is so funny because I have them on my back wall in 5v5s, on the big account and on my account. Most of them are over 300 speed. And you sit there and you go, and 7 holds. And people are there going, how the fuck did it hold? You get the message, what are your Ewoks doing? And I can't beat them. And it's like, did you check the speeds before attacking? Because holy shit, when you don't, and those kick off, it is funny. Because it's like, yeah, it just obliterates shit for no reason.
So wait till the meth walks get Teak. And you think speed is now? Wait till they get him. It's going to be meta defined. I can't.
Hey, Womprat. Did you know in episode 8 of the Skeleton Crew, Teak is coming? The director has actually said Teak himself.
Oh,
not Teak like, Teak himself is coming.
What makes me mad is I was about to say that. I was just about to say that.
God. But Bowden's going to have hard on all week.
Oh, it's already hard. I'm already hard. I'm hard every time we do this.
Bones?
Well, Malikos, Stormtrooper Han. That's my answer. Everything he does has to do with turn meter. He's one of the ones I want to relic the most out of luxury. He really has no place, but hopefully someday he does. We shall see.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say Jawas. I love watching shit blow themselves up. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to run through this shit.
Come and attack them.
Jawa's next.
So next question is from Steve. Hey there, Daddy Bubbles from House of the Hut here. With Skeleton Crew actually being well received, has that killed off any chance of the Acolyte content being added to the game this year?
I
don't think it has.
Disney,
but I think we'll capitalize on it for the people that liked it.
Which wasn't
There's
anybody.
not many.
There was 4 people that liked it. There was like a baker's dozen. I think they're going to bring, like I said earlier, they're going to bring one Conquest unit for those people. And then that's it. That's it. Because Disney tried to scrub the merchandise. They deleted the merchandise from their official store, and then the whiny people the 4 people who liked it whined about it, and they brought back one shirt so they didn't get like. I don't think Disney does not want to be attached to that ever again. So I think they will let you have one. That's going to be Saul or Queermere. That's going to be the only 2 you get. And maybe Saul, because of the Squid Game so famous, you're going to want him because everyone likes that actor. He's beloved outside of that. But my answer is you're going to get one character. And you will get a Skeleton Crew era. Maybe not this year, but you're going to get a Skeleton Crew era because just like Andor is one of the lowest watched Star Wars Disney shows, but it's one of the most loved. And they showed love to it in the game. So Skeleton Crew's getting the same treatment. It's very beloved, but it's not getting much watch. So eventually you will get, no matter who you think is going to come to the game, you'll get Skeleton Crew eventually. What do you guys think?
Yeah. I think we are going to get 1 or 2. I don't know when or where, but I think we will because, yeah, it'll just be the characters that everybody liked, and that's it. They'll go off popularity.
The answer to the question, the actual answer to the question is no, but not for the reason that you think it is. It's because they were never going to bring Acolyte stuff to the game anyway. So the Skeleton Crew doing well will not have an impact on it. It just wasn't going to happen.
So you're saying even if Acolyte did well, they weren't going to bring it to the game? Or why do you think they weren't?
No, I'm saying that Skeleton Crew doing well is not going to have an impact on Acolyte coming to the game.
I got you.
They never were going to bring Acolyte stuff to the game, period.
I see. I agree with that.
At least not anytime soon. Maybe like literally it might be like 10 years down the road when this is blown over a little bit that they decide to do some stuff like that. But
I want to say to Craftonly, that's not true. We've gotten every show content. We've gotten live action. We've gotten content from every Moon of show. You're using Visions as an example, but that's a cartoon. The cartoons they don't really go off of, but if it's been live action, they've brought some kind of content somehow in some way. So that's not true. Just like they haven't brought Tales of the Jedi content. You know what I mean? So go ahead. Sorry, Mike.
I agree with Shaka.
Yeah, same here. I agree with Shaka.
All right. Next question comes from Sopper. Bones and crew, what do you think of Greedo killing my Kylo and if he is a viable option for Java?
Yeah, so I was doing a stream and Sopper's always in there and he showed me a video of his slacker, you know, a normal slacker GL team getting completely fucking demolished by a Greedo. And so it's Jabba with Fennec Shan, Gamguard, Greedo, some other random thing that's not a Hutt cartel. I want to share this with you guys after this because he sent me the video. Sopper, if you're in here, send us the link. I've never seen anything like it. And Greedo demolishes Slacker. Boom, 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 boom. Slacker's gone. And
that's just because of RNG though? Like he just happens to be hitting over and over and over again?
Shock, I'm not sure. I will ask Sopper because he posted on YouTube, and I'll send you the video, and you let me know what you think. I've never seen anything like it.
That's repeatable.
It was so crazy to me.
You watched a very technical question of Bones. Remember, he clicks and hopes.
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't experience it. This was Sopper. So, but it is worth watching and checking out. It was so crazy to me that even I threw Greedo in place of Boba Fett just to see what happens. I mean, if nothing happens, then that's fine. I'll go back to it. But it was so crazy to me. I was like, well, I might as well try it and see what happens. But I left my Hut cartel in. Like, when you see this comp, you're like, what the fuck was this guy thinking? And just obliterates Slacker. So, like I said, if you guys let me know in like Discord if you want to see the video. I'll have Sopper post it. But I don't know what the question was. Honestly, but definitely check it out.
Honestly, I've seen it as well, and it's really stupid and funny. But if Greedo pops off and goes into his little, I'm just going to roll, oh look, 50% chance of me taking another go. Yeah, okay, go again. And he can go on and on for a while. In theory, if he pops off well enough, he in theory could take out anything. Whether that will ever happen is like a 1 in a billion shot in some cases, because it's like you need to have, like, say, healing immunity on a Jabba or a Slacker or a Rey or something like that. Eventually he will get through if he's got it. When is the freaking question? But eventually he in theory would get through. So weird team, stupidly funny, but yeah, in theory he can kill anything. Whether he does or doesn't is the other question.
So it's 50% chance to attack again whenever he critically hits.
Right.
Yeah. So, ridiculous odds.
I imagine the Cron probably plays a little bit something to that, because Crons have crit chance as a element to it right now. So if you were adding like 40% crit chance from the Cron, and if you have him modded for like 120% crit chance, which is really very doable, I could see that happening. But even then, it's still only a 50-50 shot. And even that, but like Captain Matthias said, it was 4 hits. I thought it was going to be like 8, like you rattled off 8. For you to take out a Slicker with just 4 hits, that's pretty nuts. Like that's some serious damage coming out of Greedo.
Unless
I haven't seen the link, so what?
Unless again it's datacron related.
He clicks on the datacron. Like, it's funny. Like,
a lot of armor.
It's funny. You know how like kind of to figure out his strategy. He clicks on the datacron, looks at what it says, clicks like twice, and then Greedo demolishes him. So even in the video, you'll see what the datacron is. It's really funny. I'm trying to get him to send the thing right now. But so what I'm trying to say is 1% of the time, it'll happen every time.
Right, yeah. It's not going to be a repeatable scenario.
We'll see. I put him on defense, so.
Yeah.
I did. I was so blown away by it. I was like, I'm putting this shit on defense. And wait, it's not even a Hut Cartel team. Like, it's insane. Yep. But anyways, let's move on from that. I'll show you guys the video after this.
All right. Final question. Why does Shaka dislike Bob Ross?
Yeah, I don't think you ever explained this to us, so I'm wanting to know too.
Yeah. So Bob Ross. So we did a subathon, not this past July, but the July before that. That was 2023. And the timer on the subathon ran out at 8 a.m. I want to say, and so there was nobody else on that. We typically would stream or anything like that. Or stream, raid, whatever. So we were looking for places to raid, and Jam, one of our original founders, recommended Bob Ross because she loves Bob Ross, and we did some stuff with that. So I was like, all right, sure. So we went to go raid Bob Ross, and he rejected our raid. So
The ghost of
To
Bob
this
Ross
day-
did?
what?
Isn't he dead?
Yes, he's dead. Yeah. So
That's-
he a dead man rejected me. Like, it's that bad. So that guy can go get stuffed. Like, I will never say anything nice about him ever again.
Says the content creator who rejects your raid unless you have 4 or more
I
people.
I realize the irony in that. Yes.
Yeah.
It's in my defense. It's not my decision. It's because of bingo and because people work the system in bingo.
All
And so I
right.
had to do it to prevent the people from cheating.
Poor Avant.
It's just Bob Ross. He's the asshole. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's call this a fucking day, guys. We are way overdone. I don't think I have anything else to say. Shaka, thank you, man. I know these run really long, but I absolutely love having you on, dude. You're the shit. One of my favorite content creators. I actually give you my time, unlike most, but thank you for giving us your time. Go ahead and pimp your stuff real quick. Tell us what you do. Pimp all your channels real quick.
Yeah, so I stream on Twitch at Shaka08. If you guys want to give a follow, I'd appreciate that. We dual stream on YouTube as well. The YouTube channel is Shaka Gaming. And we do SWGOH content there as well. I also have a music reaction channel, so I'm a music teacher for anyone that doesn't know. And we do reaction videos to different music that's out there, different artists, things like that. That is Shaka Reacts on YouTube. So if you guys are into music and you want to check that out, feel free. We do some of that on Twitch as well. I try to kind of integrate everything that we do into the streams. So, but yeah, if you guys are into music, if you're into SWGOH, if you're into tier rankings, just chatting, whatever it might be, head on over, give us a follow, and we'll see you there. And try not to make fun of you too much, like Bones does.
Yeah, dude deserves it. He's better than fucking 98% of these people. I get some of these content creators teach you how to do things, but you're going to go to sleep while you listen to it. Shaka is very entertaining. He loves to have a good time. Go check him out.
Is Bo the other 2%?
Yes. But you are the 98%, big boy. I would let you sit on my face anytime, Shaka.
Nice.
Bones.
All right, Womp, pimp your stuff real quick. What you got going on? You have a lot going on this week.
So on Tuesday, I'm doing a 24-hour stream. It is for WizKids, so it's a wheelchair charity in the UK. 24 hours of me being on Ashes of Creation, which is going to be mentally challenging and physically challenging to stay awake, doing it midnight to midnight my time. So, like, we would have started 16 hours ago by this point. So I'm going to be probably dead by this point in the day. It's going to be funny. It's going to be stupid. We'll have a damn good laugh. Got a load of other bits and pieces. This whole episode will be on YouTube some point this evening because I've got to run and grab stuff for tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow we're doing 3D printing shit, which if you do join in the channel, 1,000 points, you can earn the ability to win Captain Rex once we've painted him, made him, and everything else. So, yeah. And there we go. Stream quite a bit. We have a laugh. We have a joke. And that's it.
All right, Mike, do your thing, and I'm looking for someone to raid.
What, pimp my stuff? Come and watch my podcast that you guys are watching. Thank you.
I meant say goodbye, you asshole. Also, come by Bones' stream and watch Mike's account get played. How about that?
Yep, sure. Yes, Bones does stream GAC. Sometimes he does good, sometimes he does shit. Come see what happens tomorrow.
Come learn what not to
or
do.
today.
In like a couple hours.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yes, thank you, Shaka, for coming along. I really have enjoyed this episode. Chat has been very good as well. So shout out to the chat. Yeah. And yeah, I really do enjoy watching you when you're doing GACs and
Thanks, man.
even the
Yeah,
ones that go really, really long.
Just, real quick before you guys go, I just want to say thank you for having me. I know obviously the time zones and such, and especially because we tend to get intoxicated Friday nights, it's tough to pull this off. But I love watching you guys when I'm awake in time. You guys are a great vibe. Love hanging out. Love being a part of this kind of stuff. It's always fun to talk to other content creators and be a part of the community as a whole. So just thank you, and I'm honored to be here, guys. Appreciate it.
And man,
You're always welcome.
Yeah, you're always welcome, dude. I know you're always a busy guy during school time, but if you just want to hop on and talk some shit because you're bored or whatever, you're always welcome, man. On here and Scoundrel. So you're a scoundrel
Even
for
if
life,
it's
my friend.
literally, even if it's just to jump in and go "fuck you, Bones" and hop out.
Yeah.
It is.
Hey, don't worry. We do that. We do that to him on his 24-hour stream. We jumped in, and it was just pop in, shout "fuck you, Bones," and then jump out the voice chat.
I was like, is that a redemption? Yeah. But no, it was them. But all right, guys. One last thing: if you subscribe today or have been, we do a VIP thing in the Huts Hangout Discord where we hang out for a little bit and talk to people who have or VIH, I guess it's called, or have subs. So if you want to hang out with us and talk some shit, come by the Huts Hangout Discord. And if you've subscribed and all that stuff. So we're going to get the hell out of here. Thank you guys. That's another week in the books. We'll be back next week for a guest that you won't know about until they show up on Saturday. So I'm not going to tell you who it is because they've quit telling me. All right, guys. Love you all. Shaka, thank you. Love you guys as a host. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.